That looks to be about 2 tablespoons. Hit next step. Q is preheating the pan. And you might want to have this by, or have the spatula by, to kind of mix around the oil on the pan. And once again, very important to have this pan on a level surface, because as you can see, this moves a little bit, which makes me think this is not totally level. Let's see what we can do here. It's preheating the pan. It's going to, you can see the temperature right there from the pan. Now it's time to add the eggs, and in this case, we're going to add just the 1 egg as we go. So we're going to hit that, and bring that down. All right. We'll hit the next step. Now it says Q is frying the eggs. Now this is a fried egg. This won't have a cover over it. If you want it more of an over easy as opposed to sunny side up, you want to put a cover on top of that so the top also gets cooked as well. And once again, like I said, if you want the top a little bit frosted over, you want to put this on top here, and it will adjust on the heat. Now I've done a little bit more than just frying eggs for sure, like in this video that you're seeing right now. What I did was I was using the Heston Q next to my grill, grilling some vegetables while I was grilling my proteins right on the grill. It's a great combination for that. And they've got some great recipes. Like I said, they show you how to do some oven baked stuff. They show you how to use your sous vide if you have one. They show you how to do different things with it. It's not just cooking with one device and being the Heston Q. Finish the eggs by spooning hot oil over the whites immediately surrounding the yolks. Okay, well I don't have a spoon. Let's just see if the spatula works. Because it didn't say a spoon, did it? I don't remember saying a spoon. Alright, we put some oil on top. Now we can use the spatula to remove the eggs from a pan and transfer them to a plate. And there you go. All right, next up, we're gonna do the one thing that you probably want to know a little bit more about, and that's making a steak. That's what we're gonna do. So we got the steak set up here. Couple things you want to know. Basically, they show the ingredients: the New York strip, the kosher salt, the black pepper, canola oil. I'm not going to actually be crushing cloves of garlic. Also, another thing that they don't talk about at the beginning is measuring the width of your steak, how thick your steak is. Mine's about 1/4 inch, so you got to know that because they're going to ask you that during the whole thing. So let's hit the get started. Now it's asking, is your New York strip tempered? Which means, have you brought it to room temperature so it cooks evenly? Yes, it's already tempered. Place the Heston pan on the burner. Next step. How thick is your New York strip? And what we want, do we want it pink and juicy, rare, a touch of pink in the middle, or well done? We like a pink and juicy steak. So let's hit the next step. So now we've got to pair the device, which we just did. Add 2 tablespoons of canola oil. Next step. Dry the steak using a paper towel. Thoroughly dry your steak. Let's just pat them down. There we go. Next step. Choose your salt. We're actually using kosher salt. So we're gonna hit that, and then we're gonna do some salt and pepper of the steaks. So let's do that really quick. All right. Next step. Add the steak. Carefully add. Now, once again, these are hot pans, so carefully add your steak to that. You can hear that. I want to get that centered as possible, so let's move that forward a little bit. I'm going to hit next step already. Now it says about at 148 at 405 as it's going. It didn't say to add the garlic, but I like my garlic on it early, so I'm going to do that. So yeah, you can basically do what they're saying or kind of improvise a little bit as you go. But as we go, we got about 1:09 left before we go and flip the steaks. So I'm going to grab my tongs this time. And as you can see, they got videos going as it's going, so it shows you how that works. And I don't know if you can see the front there, but the the lines, and it's on a full 100% on the heat. And we're doing this all from my garage. That's pretty cool, right? All right, now it's saying flip the steak. So look at that, we got a nice little sear on that. We just flip the steak. We're gonna take that garlic, we're gonna put it on top of here. Put it on top of here. Now another good thing this is for, to use the pots. In the Midwest, in Wisconsin, we make brats. And we put brats on the grill, but we soak our brats in beer first. And sometimes that smells up a kitchen. So by having this out here, we can actually boil the brats out here and not put the smell in the kitchen. And then when they're ready to go on the grill, boom, we put them on the grill. It's now reduced the temperature to cook the steaks evenly throughout, it says. Looks like we have still a little bit of pink on the side there, which you can fix by just kind of flipping the steak. So it says flip the steak again. So we're gonna do that. And this time we're gonna keep the garlic on there. I'm gonna hit next step. That's telling you to add the garlic in the thyme. This time we'll just put the thyme on. And just a touch more garlic. Next step. With that, it says the steaks are done. Probably just soak up some of the grease there. There we go. Next step. Drain the oil, discard the aromatics, and then that's pretty much it. Draining basically to clean the pan. Now you can clean the pan using a little bit of water as well. I always think of it like with a cast iron pan. You want to put a little bit of water in, let it boil up, wipe it out with a towel. Although these aren't dishwasher safe, you can wash them with soap and water if you need to. But at any rate, we've got some steaks done. Are you hungry? Would you like a steak? Oh, of course, we can cook a lot more, but you get the idea of what this system is about. Now, let's talk about price. Let's talk about availability. It's available now. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them at the Heston Q store. The websites, all the links are going to be down in the show notes there. The base price is $399 for the burner and one pan. $299 for just the burner. Now, if you're using this outside of your kitchen, this can really start paying for itself pretty quick. And of course, the Heston, you have the regular burners. You could actually replace your stove with their Heston range, which they do have. And they have other different cookware with more cookware options coming very soon. As for what I think about the Heston Q, I've been using it for the last few weeks. It's amazing. The one thing, there's some things you need to worry about. Once again, like I said, you want to be in a well-ventilated area. When you're not in front of your stove, you don't have your grease trap above you. So having this outside, not in the rain, of course, outside, but somewhere where it's covered, so the grease can escape in any direction. That's a good idea. The other thing is to always have fire extinguisher. Be prepared if something does catch on fire. Even though you're not getting a flame from this, it's still producing heat. Don't touch anything. This is still hot. Very, very hot. Even if you lift this up and touch right here, this is over 150 degrees at least right now, and this has been cooling down for about 2 minutes. It's going to cool faster than a stove for sure, but it's something that you got to be aware of. So if you're going to be cooking on it, don't think you can just pick it up, move it somewhere else, and drop it down and cook again. Now, with all that said, I've been using it to cook a lot of things. Keeping this level, very important. So if you're going to be using this and you put this on a picnic table or something like that, you might want to have some sort of shim, some way to level this so the pan doesn't go going back and forth. It's too bad that it's not machine washable, but it's understandable why it's not machine washable, because there are electronics in here, and of course clean it out like you would a cast iron pan, you'll be fine. I love this alternative cooking with the sous vide, cooking with the air fryer, cooking with the Heston Q. you can do a lot more. And the best part is this app right here, because it's going to show you how to make things not just for the Heston Q. You want to make some dinner rolls with all of this, it's going to show you how to do it in the oven in that same multi-step way that it's doing, minus the fact of monitoring the heat. The app also allows you to cook on your own. You don't need the app to run. In fact, if you can just run your finger up and the dial goes up to the top, goes down to the bottom. It tells you how warm to hot the cooking is gonna be through those lines. You can also go into the app and say, I want to make sure this is at 400 degrees, and you can set it there. And set up timers and things like that. So if you're boiling water, let's say you're simmering something for 7 minutes, like pasta or something like that, you say, I want it at a simmer temperature, and hit 7 minutes, and then it's going to let you know. It's really nice to do. When you're outside in that sweltering heat, you can go inside for. It's a great unit. The only thing I wish, like I said, with the leveling, it would be nice if there was a way that this burner could level itself. The pans are well made, so that's going to add to my cooking needs and uses. And technically, I suppose we could use these on a regular periods of time, twist that off, take the battery off, and then put it back in. Hang them up like you would any other pan, and you're good to go. So Heston Q. Prices start at $399 for this base unit. Of course, $299 for an extra burner. No matter how people think you made it, as long as you made it, right? Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, comment down below. Hit the bell notification on Geekazine.com and on YouTube.com to let you know when the next video comes out. Until next time, you guys geek out and cook on. And I'm having some steak. See you later. Taking these with me. Bye. NAMM 2019, Jeffrey Powers with Anthony. We're going to talk about hook audio and binaural recording for your iPhone and other devices next on Geekazine. So pretty interesting stuff here. Of course, when we listen on our phone or we record on our phone, it's usually, it's not really stereo, it's more mono type recording. And you've got a solution for that to give us a more expansive style.
Yeah, correct. I like to say we record audio on our phones the equivalent of walking around with one ear.
Okay.
It's mono, it's flat, two-dimensional.
All right.
What we at Hook Audio are trying to do is bring recording on your smartphone to full 3D sound and full binaural audio.
Okay.
And the way we're doing that is through a device that you already own. A pair of Bluetooth headphones. So this is the Hook Verse.
Okay.
It's the world's first pair of binaural recording wireless headphones.
Okay.
The concept here is that we don't want people to add another piece of gear to their lives.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk out the door and be like, let me grab my phone, my headphones, and my microphones. With this, we bring it all into one device, and it attempts to change the way you record the world in a super easy way.
Okay.
You pair them to your phone, they work like a regular pair of Bluetooth headphones. You can listen to music, take hands-free calls, do anything you need to.
Okay.
If inspiration strikes and you want to record, releasing these and unlocking them into 3D audio microphones is as simple as opening up our mobile app.
Okay.
You open up the mobile app, sends a message, transforms them from headphones into microphones, and immediately allows you to record video or audio only in rich binaural audio.
Okay.
Now,
Is that iOS and Android? Or
correct, that's iOS and Android.
Okay.
And it is Bluetooth. And many people will think, Bluetooth, latency, low quality.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we built our own codec. We've built the first dual-channel lossless Bluetooth recording codec.
You built the recording end or the listening end or both?
It's kind of both. So
Okay.
on the listening end, you're just using your standard Bluetooth to listen
So
back.
that's a Bluetooth 4 type situation.
Correct, Bluetooth
Okay.
4 A2DP.
Okay.
When we do record, there's firmware on the device and on the mobile app that sort of makes the handshake with
Okay.
this custom codec that we're sending.
So what's the latency latency on that?
0.0043 milliseconds of latency.
As opposed to, do you know what the standard Bluetooth latency is?
Oh man, it can vary depending on how much Bluetooth traffic is in the area,
Okay.
but enough to see separation between
Okay.
visual and audio.
So 0.0043.
0.0043.
0043.
We could really say zero, but
Okay. What about the distance on that? How far away can you be?
You can check on our YouTube. There's many people that have tested that. We're seeing around 30 to 40 feet.
Oh, okay, that's nice. And you don't get too much cut out from 30 or 40 feet, or?
No. And in a place like this where there are thousands of Bluetooth devices around, you might get a little less range. But no, if you're really out there, you can really go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about wireless signals from labs, somebody trying to compete with that.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea.
And now that's for the phone, but you can also connect it to other devices. There's Bluetooth, so you can connect it like a regular Bluetooth device,
right.
But you don't have a PC app or anything like that just yet.
No, the way in which you would go to a PC is with the device that we actually have.
Okay.
So we've created this cable. So if you want to record to something that doesn't have Bluetooth, we've invented this. Yeah. When plugged into the charging port on the product, it immediately turns it into a wired microphone.
Okay.
So now you have a wired mic and you have a Y cable, 2 connectors. One is for a GoPro and the other is for the external mic on a field recorder, DSLR, computer.
My camera, stuff like that. So.
Camera like that.
That is awesome.
So really it's the most versatile binaural microphone on the market, and it also happens to be a pair of headphones.
Plus you have these really cool socks.
Yeah.
You got socks for headphones. Go figure. So
around Christmas we want to do like a little Argyle print as a special edition.
That's awesome.
This is a theater hack. I used to be a theatrical sound designer, and this is a lavalier windscreen. So basically, this goes onto the do whatever in the wind, and that's not going anywhere.
You're going to make ugly sweater ones too, right?
I'm open to.
All right.
Got to sell a few more units.
Got it. Yeah. You just, now you started out 2014, right? And you had a very successful crowdfund.
Yeah, in 2014, I like to say you couldn't really put 3D audio into ones and zeros on a spreadsheet. Kickstarter was a good way to validate it. Say, hey, is there enough people out there?
No.
And we did. We did well enough to get enough support to say, hey, there's something behind this. Okay. We launched in the summer of 2017, been in the market for about a year and a half, and we're about to open up to some retail locations in the beginning of 2019.
That's awesome. What's the plans for
companies enter the space with products like this of their own?
Okay.
There's a larger audio company that has a product very similar to ours. It's wired. It only works on an iPhone. We do have the patent on the wireless recording tech.
Okay.
But we're seeing, in the 3D audio yourself.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed with this. Like any major format.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
All right. So they're out now.
Correct.
What do we got for price points?
So you can buy them on our site. They retail for $239. Okay. We actually have a promotional deal right now on our Amazon. You can buy them on Amazon at $159.
And I'll have that link in the show notes down below. So you are planning a wireless for cameras, but we can't. And then the
bridge, the note,
the Coda, and
the Fermata, which is just a big long pause. There's actually no product release.
And then the Fortissimo, make
nice.
It loud.
Oh yeah, so, that's going to be our 3D audio sound speaker.
I'm trying to remember all my music terms right now.
The E is for ears, as we say.
Oh, that's nice. That's awesome. So,
yeah.
Anthony, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much, Jeff.
All right, well, there you go. Hook Audio, awesome 3D binaural for, not only just for recording, but for podcasting and all that other good stuff. Hook it up to your phone, hook it up to your camera. Tell us what you think. Let me know in the show notes. Comment down below over at YouTube. Lots of videos in the first part of 2019. So go over there and just geek out with us, and we'll all rock out. What up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, and today we are taking a look at an HP printer. We've got the HP LaserJet Pro MFP M148 FDW. You got that number, right? It's engraved in your hand, right? We do. Yeah, we're talking printers today, and of course you can check everything out over at Geekazine. Think Magazine put in a Geek UV/Geekazine 24/7. We're live either doing reviews like this or pre-recorded content, and everything is over at Geekazine. And of course, we've got the new merch, including the podcast merch over at geekazine.com/merch. Be a part of the Patreon over at patreon.com/Geekazine. One-time tip at paypal.me/Jeff Powers. Somebody tipped me last night. Thank you very much to that person. So today we are taking a look at the HP LaserJet Pro, and because at DWF is Dallas Fort Worth, and you're probably not in Dallas Fort Worth. You're probably somewhere else. And if you are in Dallas Fort Worth, how you doing? So anyway, what this is a printer. This is a black and white printer that comes right out of the box, and you throw in a whole ream of paper, can do 1,000 pages just like that. because it comes with the toner, comes with the drum. Of course, that's at the time of this recording, and everything can change. We did get product, just so you know, we did get the printer to review. All opinions are of my own. You can go over to geekazine.com/review to find out all my policies right there. I did an unboxing video, which you will see up here. And of course, the unboxing video will also be found on YouTube as well. You can go there. But relatively lightweight. You still want to have two people when you unpack it. But you could possibly unpack it with one person, as opposed to my 577, which is a two-person job. And that's tough. That's a lot heavier. But anyway, it's a smaller printer. It's got less features than with the 577. Of course, this is black and white only. This does double-sided fax and go through the app to do a lot more. Straightforward, nice printing. And like I said, you set it up, you take all the tape off, and then you turn it on. You connect it up to your network. Paper types, different types of paper types. Up on top, there's a little latch that goes down. You can kind of see it, and inside that latch you can do envelopes and a couple other different size papers. Once you do an A4 scan, which is not too shabby, and then when we lift this all up and we lift this part up, the thing beeps at us because it says, "Don't do that, the door is open." But this is where your toner is, and it's a two-piece toner system. It's relatively small, as you can see, but it can get about, I think it was said about 20,000 prints on the page. We'll go back to the page in a second here. So we have the toner here, and then, of course, we have the drum, which pulls out just like that. As you can see, relatively, when you have stock for the toner printer to come back in. So you put that back in, you bring that down, you bring this down. It says, "Hey, I'm initializing," and there you go. All right, so on the back, let's see if we can do this without unplugging it. Let's spin her around. And if we unplug it, hey, that's no big deal. So on the back, we have, there we go. This is for if you have any type of jams or anything like that. And then down here, let's bring it into play. Down here, this is where we've got your fax machine right here and right here. We got your Ethernet right here, and then of course a USB-B cable that will fit right there. If you notice, there is no USB hard drive or flash drive, whatever you want to call it, access on this thing. And that's kind of sad. You know, I would figure that that's something that people would want on there. But if you think about it, there are some companies that don't want you to have that functionality. And then of course you have this setup. Let's take a look. Let's zoom in first of all on this panel here. This is the panel. As you can see, it's not the LCD panels that you've been seeing on a lot of these printers. This is a little bit more taking the step back. With push button technology and a slight LCD. From there, you want to configure the wireless. You can do that from there. And then, of course, you have the HP, I think it's called HP, was it HP Smart? That's it. HP Smart software, which then you touch screen from there. So you can do your printing from here, or you can do your printing from the PC, from the Mac, or through the scan. This top button is how you scan. So you can put the paper on the top tray, or you lift up the tray and put it in there, and then hit the copy, and then it'll say, do you want one copy, multiple copies? And then you have different options. If you have a fax machine, which I do not, we'll just turn that off. There we go. Hit the cancel button. We got a cancel button, we got a return button, and an OK button. It's a little in a odd spot, but you know, hey, it works. It works, as you can see, pretty easy to navigate through. You'll feel like it's the 90s again with this printer when you're navigating through. But hey, you know, it works, and that's the important part here. Let's take a look at the specs over on the page. We'll hit the specification buttons. It does print, copy, scan, and fax. To go double-sided, and you can do double-sided flip, or you can do flip, either way. Duty cycle up to 20,000 pages. So the monthly volume, if you print out 200 to 2,000 pages, this is the printer that you can that'll work for you. Print quality is 1200 by 1200 DPI, not the best quality out there, but this is meant for quick jobs, non-color prints, and of course, just something that you need to print out. Like directions or something like that. They do have the print resolution fast res 1200 technology in there to help with making those black and white prints as easy as possible. And of course, all the other cool stuff that you can find in this printer, because there are a few of them. And we're going to start with our pros, of course. It's a smaller and lighter in weight, so it'll be easier to move around, put up into wherever you need to move it to. It's dual-sided printing, so black and white, of course, 30 pages per minute, and it's ready to print right out of the box. So you're ready to go. Boom, there you are. You can go in and set it up and go once you have it all configured. However, let's look at some of the cons, and one of the cons is setting it up here, and that is no native wireless configuration. And I will talk about that in a second. WPS or PIN on first configuration. There's no USB drive support, which I talked about. The scanner top actually slams down. You got to watch out for that. And there's poor documentation. And a lot of people have noticed that the poor documentation. Basically, we'll start with the first part, and that's the setup. When I went to set this printer up, it asked me either I got to do the WPS, which is basically you go to your router, there's usually a little button that you can press that will send out a signal to any device that's listening and say, join our network. And then it then connects up. Now, you can also connect up direct through Ethernet, and you can use the USB to connect up to a PC. And there's a way to do it on the app. They keep talking about it and this is why we said poor documentation. Went in there and it said, you go into the app, you go to your Wi-Fi settings, you find the HP setup, and then you connect to that Wi-Fi, and then go back into the app, and then it's going to ask, well, what's the Wi-Fi SSID and password? It didn't do that. In fact, there was no HP setup. It showed the printer Wi-Fi, but it didn't say HP setup. It said LaserJet Pro MFP. It's like, well, what do we do now? Okay, and of course, maybe a firmware update can fix that, or software update on the app. And that, of course, was on the iOS device. I did not test it on the Android device. Now, they say that otherwise you cannot, without the WPS, you cannot configure it. And that's kind of not true. The best way to do this is to plug it into your network via Ethernet cable, and then give it an IP address, and then go to the page, because they're the wireless network. You can't do it on the app. You got to do it on the page. And so once I figured that out, I was able to configure it without WPS, but that seems to be a longer way to get to where you need to go. Now, all right, so you get the toner with basic toner with it, but refills on the toner. This is the basic toner refill, $46.99 for that. If you need to get the drum, there's the drum that's $88.89 at the time of this recording, of course. So, and of course, you're not really buying the drum every time you're buying toner. You're probably going to get 2 or 3 toners before you get a new drum. And let's see, cartridge yield is 23,000 pages on that, as opposed to this, which you get about 2,800 pages per cartridge. That's the high-end black toner. 1,200 pages for the regular black toner. So, and you get the ID recharge. So not too bad if you're only doing, like I said, about 1,000 pages a month. It's got a good smaller form factor. So as you can see, well, you can't see on that, but once we go back here, it fits right on the corner of my desk. So it'll probably take up a good corner. But if you're doing if you need something to print out, whatever, Then they were saying around the web that, of course, being on Amazon's website, HP's website, and of course the other places that you can buy this, and we're seeing about a 3.5 stars for this printer. There's a lot of confusion as to the setup, and the documentation, it was not as great as they want to be. You go in and you connect up to the printer, and then you can set up your wireless stuff, and that wasn't happening for me. Not at all. So I'd give it about the 3.5 stars. That sounds about right for a review price. But it does, once it's hooked up, you hook it up to your phone. The computer's has all that set up, or you just hook it up directly, and you don't have to worry about that, or hook it up via USB. Then you're good to go. And this prints up pretty good. No jams that I've had so far, but I've only used this for a short while. Double-sided printing, you will have to go into the program every time and say, hey, I want it to be double-sided. There's no way to set it up that I've found yet to set it up to double print, double-sided multiple plex printing. Yeah. And that is the HP LaserJet Pro MFP M148 FDW. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me over at Geekazine. Think Magazine, put in Geek. I can't troubleshoot your problems. I can help you. I can try, but I'm not support. You should probably contact support if you have a technical issue to begin with. I get a lot of those. Comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for the next video. And watch everything over on twitch.tv/Geekazine as well. Thanks a lot for watching. You've been watching the HP LaserJet Pro MFP M148 FDW review. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys geek out, and we will see you next time. Take care. Just here from Geekazine. Today we're taking a look at a printer from our friends over at HP. This is the HP LaserJet Pro MFP M148 FDW. I know that's a big mouthful, but it's a black and white LaserJet printer. It's meant to print 1,000 pages right out of the box with toner and everything. I'm not sure if paper's in there or not. We're going to find out. It's pretty lightweight, and it is a nice little printer to have. And of course, you can also attach it to your phone so you can print from mobilely if you need to, and all that other good stuff. Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. Think Magazine, put in a geek. You can find me over on youtube.com/Geekazine, no, twitch.tv/Geekazine, Facebook Geekazine. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell notification for the next video. Lots of cool consumer tech, music tech, and all that other cool tech in between. So we're taking a look at this right here. It is the LaserJet Pro MFP M148 FDW. Like I said, it's black and white, and it is it's got a lot of great features, including sharp text, bold blacks, affordable running specifics. You can print, copy, scan, and fax. You can do 30 pages per minute, and since it's only black cartridge, you can get 7.3 seconds per sheet. Duty cycle of 20,000 pages, and mostly 200 to 2,000 pages. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this puppy. We got it right behind me here. Let's switch over to that here. I'm going to switch up and stand up and move the chair. So here it's basically, it feels like about 20 to 25 pounds. You probably still want to have a second person here to help you lift it up. But we're definitely going to unbox it here. And we'll get that going. We'll bring that up. And we'll open it up this way. Have a knife handy. Have a screwdriver handy. That's always a good practice for unboxing anything like this. So now we've unboxed this. Let's take that to the side. Practicing knife safety for me. And then, of course, we've got the instruction manuals for the LaserJet printer. And there we go. Now, inside, looks like we have this is a phone cord for your fax. What else have we got in here? We've got a USB-B cable and then a regular power cable right there. We'll pop that out. We'll pop this out right here. I think to do when you unbox something like this, And actually, I think that's how they designed it, because there's the top right there. So we're going to set it on its side like that. And then we're going to slide it right out of the box. Trying to have a foothold on the side of the box here so it doesn't slide on these hardwood floors. Grab it by the plastic here. There we go. So now we've unboxed the printer. Take off the styrofoam to the side, the styrofoam to the side, and they're over and show you. I can lift this up fairly easy. Let's switch over to my main camera. There we go. So this is the printer itself. As you can see, 2 hands is the best way to hold it as you go. Side, side. We'll take off the plastic. Now, the best part about HP printers is anything that has an orange piece of tape on it, you want to take off. So once we take the plastic off here, we'll have to do that by lifting up. Bring it back. And there we go. So it's a lot smaller than the other multifunction printers that I've had, that I've reviewed for HP before. So let's get it up on the table and we'll show you a little bit more. All right, so here we go. And get rid of some of the orange tape. And some of that orange tape is going to be sitting inside. And I'm going to put the tape right there just in case I need to repackage this for other reviews. Open it up, make sure that there's nothing in there. This might be a return tray or a duplicator tray. I don't know just yet, but there's some tape up here. And we have a piece right here. And you definitely want to open everything up and make sure that you get all the tape. If there's a area that needs to be opened, yeah, I gotta open it. So I didn't see any toner with this. Yeah, I think the drum is inside here. This is an NAG Star label. Up there. Open it up. As you can see, yep. See, there's a piece of tape down here that's holding in where the paper tray is. So this is the paper tray all together. We'll put this over here. And I'm just gonna look inside. I don't see anything else. But yeah, you definitely put the paper in right there and close that up. So we got tape right here that holds down this part right here. We got tape down here. And we got tape right here. There we go. Piece of tape right here. Usually doesn't rip like that, so that's an odd one. We got a piece of tape right here. This holds down the scanner side. There's another piece of tape right there. As you can see, it does a good job of doing that. Do that, and now you can open up. You see the scanner. There's actually a piece of tape here, but it's telling you to watch out because this needs to be cleared. So let's see. We got a power button here. We got like an accessory thing that we don't have over here, and we've got a film on top of the keypad right here. So how do you take that off? There we go. So it doesn't look like the LCD tabs or the LCD areas that you see on most HP printers. This is a little bit kind of push buttony. So, and I'm guessing this is just going to be straight up LCD, nothing color or anything about it. So there's got to be a way that this opens up. We got the paper here. So over here on the side, you can see that's where you can download the app. And I think that's that we can lift this up. So we can get our regular paper. And okay, this is where the toner drum is. So that's it. That's open. That's all the tape. And we'll close that abruptly. Close that. And of course, put that there. So you have your paper that goes right here. We'll get a few sheets of paper here in a minute. And we'll get this starting to print. That's basically the unboxing of the LaserJet Pro MFP M148 DFW. Smaller printer, black and white printer. Perfect for everyday work that doesn't need color to it. And like I said, 1,000 sheets out of the box. We'll be testing that and going from there. You can check everything out over on Geekazine, Think Magazine, put in a geek, and of course, Facebook.com. YouTube.com/Geekazine. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification for the next video. And check out the full review, which we will be doing shortly thereafter, of this printer. So once I can get all the bells and whistles going on it. So thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, you guys geek out. This has been the LaserJet Pro MFP Geekazine unboxing. You guys geek out, and thanks a lot for watching. Take care.
Hi everyone, I'm Giacomo Montalvo with HP. First, thank you guys so much for being here. I know some of you traveled, other just taking the time out of your day to come. We really appreciate it. So what we're going to be doing today, as mentioned in the email, is we're really going to be kind of doing an unveil of our new this printer. It is targeted at small businesses, which is why today we're actually in a real small business. So Aaron Cook here is a few folks to introduce. We'll have Vlad Mouter in here. Okay, Brandon McGovern over here, Director of Customer Experience with our home printing business. Marcus Thomas, who's back in the corner, Product Manager on our solutions that we're going to share with you today, Smart Tasks. And then we have Caroline Ning, who is the Future Product Manager on the products that we are unveiling all the way from Singapore. So thank you for being here. With that, I would say I'm going to hand it over to Lad, who's going to kick us off. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks for coming. It's fun to be here to talk about small business. We haven't talked about small business for a while, I think too long actually, and it's a really important segment of our economy and of our business for home printing. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what's happening with home printing and how we're really looking at this overall. And Brandon's going to dive into some specifics on the OfficeJet Pro and how we're really relaunching and looking at this space and really bringing to life some really great innovation here. So we're excited to talk about that. But I love that it's a small business, but it's small, so I'm trying to figure out how to stand here. There's three things that we've been thinking about when we think about our strategy overall for home printing. And the first is really around the core and how we accelerate the core. And a lot of what we're doing in the core, it comes around two things: it's design and experience. And when we think about the core, it's it's the bulk of our business. It's the place where printing has been. But the core has been overlooked. Prior to our separation, the R&D dollars, frankly, were not within, and really re-engineering what that looks like and reimagining that. Taking everything that we know and making it better. Design and experience is about not only how products look, and Brandon's going to talk about how this product is actually much smaller and more compact than the previous generation. I'm going to talk about why that is and how that works, but also how you experience it. What is the way in which you experience? We live in a world that's dominated by our smartphone, that we're connected and working everywhere, and how that really plays out. And the solutions are a big part of the story today that you're going to hear, and that's all about how we're really looking at our core experience. You'll recognize here, perhaps if you were with us in the fall, or if you've seen any of the coverage, the HP Tango, which is the smart home printer that we launched in the fall, which was really about bringing the story to life, a whole new form factor of design, and that's really working. And feel free, if you have questions, you can just ask a question. We can do that while we're here talking, no problem, or afterwards as we go through the demo sections. The second part of our strategy is really about how we position ourselves for growth. And there's two really important parts of this. This is about our services and how we think about new business models. And we're going to talk a lot today about changing the way people are actually thinking about printing and creating a whole new level of freedom in terms of their ability to access print instead of being held back by some of our traditional business model. We're also looking at new categories in the space. We've made big investments and continue to innovate in lifestyle photo, for example, as you've seen the Sprocket products come to market and really change and introduce new behaviors in printing for new generations, and we're going to be continuing to have a lot of exciting news actually there later this year as well that you're going to see. And then last, we are really working to reimagine use cases for print in the home and look at pilots and new ways to approach new problems that we didn't have printing do before. And I can't talk to you a lot about that because that's really where our deepest secrets are held. But we're really working a lot to think about what is print today? How is it still valuable? Some of the things that we've been thinking about and seeing is that we are in a revenge of the analog era. Digital has been huge. Digital remains what that is. And you've seen us reapply some of our technologies. You think about how inkjet has transitioned to 3D. We're able to look at these things and look at them in new different ways, and we're going to be doing that consistently and trying to find new ways in which this becomes relevant far into the future and really think about what that looks like. A little bit about how we do this and how we've been thinking about this at HP. So megatrends is an overall idea, and trend watching is nothing new, but HP has really taken some in our offerings in the future. And there's three that I want to talk about here that are really relevant to what we're talking about today. If you're interested in this and you want to go really deep, the megatrend study does get published every year, and it's quite interesting. There's even some summary articles we're happy to share with you if you want to get into that. I find it fascinating to think about what this is and how these forces are changing who we are and what that looks like. We have used this as a way to think about what we need to be innovating around. As we talk about three here, rapid urbanization. The 3,500 square foot home in the suburbs of New Jersey is not a relevant, is still there, but it's not there for a lot of people anymore. You are and connect into that space. Personal is no longer just about your printer, but where you are in that, and how can you access your content in that way in those different urban environments and how we design for that. That's why footprint and experience is a large part of this innovation today. The gig economy. We know that more than ever, people are working in different types of job arrangements. Much less people have, corporate jobs like myself, but most of my friends and peers are working in all kinds of different jobs and side gigs and hustles. And what that means in terms of the entrepreneurial spirit and what that's done, I think largely a product of the internet and of digital transformation, how entrepreneurship has become mainstream in a way, is that you need tools that work for you, that are flexible, that you can get into in different ways, that help you pick up some of the busy work. So we're really thinking about how we can create more access point for people in the gig economy so that they can be successful and still have access to some of the things they need to run their business, like a printer or like printing. And the last thing that's really relevant is smarter everything. And this is not news, but we have the smart home, we have the smart cars, we have the smart workforce. Our demands of tech you'll have seen across the board or anything in this market, and that's a big part of it. It has to work like everything else does. Consumers, whether you're a home consumer or a home business or a small business, has a different expectation for technology and how it works. It needs to be smart enough to work like your smartphone does, to work like your smart thermostat does, to integrate with the rest of that. And we're really building that into the way in which this works and all the things work across our portfolio. Building upon that, a huge body of work that we've done, as you guys are all involved in the printing industry or in the small business industry, we've done a ton of work over the course of the last 2 years to understand why people print today or why paper is even important. So we talked to, over the course of the last 18 months, 22,000 people from 9 countries around the world, really understanding behaviors and experiences that people are having with paper and print and what that really is. And that's because we wanted to make sure that we had a really robust body of knowledge to understand what the innovation centers would be for how people are actually using these processes, whether it's coming out of a printer, whether it's a piece of paper, whether it's a book, and whatever, and how those use cases are. So we could think about not only how our current innovation would work within that context, but also what future innovation would look like. And there are 3 kind of main areas that we've really kind of come out of this as an overall learning or insight into why people are accessing print or printed materials today. And there's 3 categories: manage, grow, and create. And when we looked at this and we look at the data, and it's really robust quantitative study that we've used to really identify and build our innovation around, 55% of people are using printers to help manage their documents in their offices. That's very relevant. Aaron's going to talk to you about how he uses printing here. A lot of it is dealing with regulatory and management things that need to be done on printed. This is our solutions, and our printers are built around those types of ideas. To grow, to learn, to teach, to research, to have interest. People are not stopping in their interest of these things, and as much much as you can get into digital technology to learn, the ability to look at a printed page and go deeper and get deep learning is something that is very resonant for people in the education space, but also in the workspace. We think about how people are really digging into deep understanding and learning of what that is and how that's different from the digital space, and which can be relatively fleeting and not actually stick with you so much, which is a really interesting space for us, I think, going forward. And the last, to create. People are using print to send cards, to connect with people and make real connections, and that happen at a digital piece, and to all the way to a photograph, and how that can really stay with you. And we really think that that gamut is really important as we think about how those different things develop over time. And then last, all of that's well and good. You can talk trends, etc., but how are you really applying that? And so I want to introduce as well the innovation framework that we're really looking at to think about how we're bringing that to market. Because in all of that context, and we'll go deeper on this, the opportunity is to really look at this category, which we have a lot of issues historically. Like, printer doesn't work, it's expensive, it never works when I need it to. How are those things really issues that we want to do? To talk about design, but design is critical, and not just design for the sake of design, but design to fit within the path of your life. So it needs to fit within the context of your business, it needs to fit within the connectivity experience that you need to have, and it needs to work in the way in which you work or live, and that's really critical so that we can have a role there that's relevant and not obtrusive to the way in which that is. A lot of this came out of the insight that people were spending more money creating furniture to hide their printers than they were to actually buy a printer, and that's a real thing, and it should be able to fit within the architectural ethos that you have so that it can be accessed and used, because if it doesn't, then it's just going to become irrelevant. So we find that to be really important. Second, experience, and this is really about the app ecosystem that we're building, the way in which you want to access your content in a way that's most relevant to you in the context of printing. And so you're going to hear a lot today about the Smart app, which is the best mobile print app on the market. A huge success story for us in terms of driving page growth and engagement with printing and making it so much easier for people to access. But it's not just about being able to print from your mobile phone, but about what the experiences are, how that connects to the rest of your digital ecosystem. And so what you're going to see today is the way in which that starts to enable us to move whole steps forward in terms of what we deliver, what kind of productivity solutions you can have within that when we start building some of the things that you may have seen only in. And then last, simplicity. Things need to work when you need them, how you need them, and you need to have the right ink at the right time for you. We're going to talk a lot within the context of the product about instant ink. Instant ink in a market like the US has become a hugely valuable part of our portfolio and of our offering. So you're going to see this really integrated into the experience, because what we found is that people, when they subscribe to instant ink, have a great response. They enjoy printing a lot more. They have a lot less friction related to it, because nobody wants to run out and nobody wants to feel like they're getting ripped off. So we really feel like we're able to deliver great value. And as we talk today, we're going to talk about the way in which we're going to deliver specific plans for small business that help with higher yield issues, and give people some greater opportunities to get the savings that we've been able to offer customers with Instant Ink. And so if that's the kind of tracking there, any questions there before we move on to the next section? Well, you can also ask later. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Ramon Wright. He's the executive editor of Small Business Tech, and he's going to also bring up Aaron Cook, who's the owner of this established that 3C Espresso, and they're going to talk a little bit about small business and what it's like to be a small business today. Through the process of us developing this product, but also, and I'm in marketing, but also in the development of the marketing, we spent a lot of time with small business people. We really dive in and understand what is it that drives them, what are the issues that they have, what are they trying to solve, and how can printing help in that way. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what small business is like today, what some of those things are, and then as we go through the innovation, I think you'll see the way in which some of those things really start to map and how we start to solve real problems for people.
Thank you.
Ramon.
No round of applause. All right, they said it was pretty good. So,
I'll be wired.
we're in good hands. But no, really, thank you all for being here today. And I'm a small business owner myself, an entrepreneur, started a few companies, and it's always exciting to sit with a peer of entrepreneurship. And I think it's very appropriate as well that we could be in a co-working space or anywhere else, but we're here in a small business. Many of us write and talk about this stuff kind of in a glass tower somehow, you know what I mean? But I think it's nice to be in the place where small businesses are at. So Aaron, thanks for being here. And why don't you just start off by telling us a little about yourself personally and why you chose the pain and aggravation and suffering to be a small business owner in New York City.
First question. Yeah. So I moved here 6 years ago to New York, straight from Perth, Australia, and to start a startup coffee business.
So you came here wanting to start in the coffee business, okay?
Correct, yeah. So it wasn't by accident.
Okay.
A company called Bluestone Lane, which is now quite prominent throughout the city.
Nice, good.
Yeah, bootstrap funded, barely earns anything. Okay. But it was the opportunity to do something that was elevated in the kind of more espresso and cafe realm from what you normally see in bodegas and diners, and that coffee experience here. So I wanted to bring what is a very strong Australian culture around coffee and cafes to New York.
And is it fair to say coffee also in community? I mean, do you see this as a sort of a community center as well? People can come in and relax and get work done. Is actually Vlad into that today as well.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting point. People who come here, they often refer to me, and in a nice way, they go, "You build community." And it's funny, I've never really thought of like earn a living on building community at the same time.
A mayor of New York City or something like that.
At least in village.
Great. Let's talk about it again. I wish we had like hours we could have this conversation because I love small business. But let's jump right into it. A day in the life of small businesses. I think that most of us, when we get our coffees, our lattes, our teas, whatever, the interaction we have is probably like right there. And we say, "I'll take this." We sit and go. That's not your life though, or the life of your peers or your colleagues. He's going to say, no, it's not. So help us understand the many hats that you're wearing as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as all these roles you're having. Help us understand the day in the life of Aaron Cook. The brief version. Don't give us the 24-hour version.
Well, first one is I'm a firefighter. I'm always putting out fires. Okay. Obviously, figuratively.
I got you.
Wake up at whatever time to go to the bathroom, check your phone as the opening barista called out sick. So if I don't do that and I wake up at 7, it's already too late. And so I should have already been there. So that's the first thing. Make sure the store's open. So that's an operational thing. I'm also a barista, so I'll take a lot of those shifts. So I'm a leader, I'm a mentor. I have to be a problem solver, a psychologist, for my friend over there, Jonah. A friend, and as we touched on community, I need to be very open and engaged in the community. So we do a lot of charity event type things around this area specifically.
Not really. Let's talk a little bit more about that. I mean, as a business owner myself, and I think many of you will agree, we come to finances, administrative tasks, payroll, hiring, firing, dealing with New York City rules and regulations. Can you open up a bit and share with us about how that side of the day works? And thank you for being the firefighter and community owner. What about the admin tasks that none of us, my wife, in fact, has a small business, and the reason she doesn't want to be in a business, she said, "Ramon, I see all this paper, I see stuff you're doing, all these things. What is this all about?" So help us understand this, the admin task.
Well, I think from day one, it's a bureaucratic mess. So you're navigating the system of helping file for various licenses, etc. So that's in the background, but you're always getting reminded of that. If I want to employ someone, I'm printing off employee papers, because I could do it online, but they probably don't have a PDF that they can modify. For them, I'm a business person, I do have that. They don't have that software.
And isn't that ironic? We talk about the paperless office for what, 25, 50, 100 years, 3,000 years? The paper is still important, and I do think we are in a digital world, as you're saying, but paper is still a part of it.
Physical copies of them in the store. Now, typically you walk into a business and you see the no smoking sign, you see the license to operate as a restaurant, CPR kit located under the counter, all this kind of stuff. Now, I've taken them off the wall because they look ugly, so just for the event today, so they're kind of batched over there.
But normally we see a whole slightly new atmosphere.
Yeah, okay. They're typically visible, or I'll get a fine, and then I'm sure we have to print off some papers to fill in that form.
I thought you were going to say print off some money. I was going to say, I don't think he said that. Go ahead.
So constant licensing, paperwork for staff, payroll. You know, I'm probably dedicating at least 1 or 2 hours a day to administrative tasks.
And if you had to think, this is like a tough Jeopardy question. If you woke up in the morning and had to think, do I want to do admin tasks for 8 hours? Or do I want to talk to my peers and serve a cup of great espresso and build community? Which one would you pick? Think about it carefully.
A customer-facing person, but as we grew, without necessarily the infrastructure and money, I
Yeah.
became more and more that administrator. And that's not what I got into it for.
Right.
So I opened 9 stores in 2.5 years. Imagine the paperwork behind that.
That's a big deal.
And then I went, that's not me. I don't want to do that anymore. So I stripped it back and opened this store where I do spend 80% of my time customer facing. And I consider the administrative things I actually try to bounce between the coffee
Sure, of
machine
course.
and my computer at times, but I try as much as I can to do it after hours. So I'll sit back here after the store's closed, get my printer out, get my laptop out, and put on some music and just try to chill.
Wake up. And something to drink.
But I try not, as much as I possibly can, not to let it interfere with the day-to-day.
Absolutely. Aaron, sometimes that if you had more time, maybe you could grow more, do more, help more employees, help more New Yorkers passing by here. Is that something? And I know that's the nirvana for all of us, but what does that fit into your ecosystem? What are your dreams? Maybe that's the question. What do you say, wow, if I could get an 8th day, if I could get the 26th hour of the day, I would do this. How does it fit into what you do?
Yeah, it's quite topical. I really want to develop this as a coffee training centre. So, but the amount of time it's going to take for me to write up a curriculum for that and then actually teach it is huge.
Yeah.
So, in the rapid growth I had in my other business, I saw the Achilles heel was training staff. If you're opening a heap of coffee shops and you aspire to be that quality, you need the staff to do it. And over here, so that's what I want to do here. Not only for my store here, but can actually then filter those people out into the workforce.
Okay, awesome. And when we look at here, I mean, since we're all here, I think it's such a unique position. When we look here at this store, can you walk us through this cup of coffee we're drinking? What goes into that? I mean, I guess you have, just to recap, that you have to hire somebody.
Yeah.
There's records that are including this hiring.
Yep. Well, first of all, you might actually.
And let's look at the store as we're going. So you have to advertise to get people in the door.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You bring them in. Well, after you've gone through the resume, you bring them in.
Okay, go ahead.
So
You're a star now.
Okay. Was it Mason Kaiser you worked for?
Yeah, so I opened up about 10 minutes in Kaiji in the city before I came here. But the level of coffee that we were doing there versus the level of coffee you experience here is 2 different types of coffee. So I do coffee.
So he walked in wanting a job as a barista, and it was pretty, had a bit of swag.
Sure.
He's a good example of that level of quality that is here versus what I want.
Right.
And over time, probably took a year, I would say, for him to be working part-time then full-time, for him to step up and now be able to knock it out. Yeah.
And let's talk about one other thing, 2 or 3 more questions, and I think we'll move on, is the getting people in the door. I know this is a retail business, obviously. I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that people are coming in, I'm using the word knee-jerk reaction, that's the wrong word, but passers-by who come in when they see it. What are some of those marketing things that you have to do, advertising things that you do to get people in here, build the community beyond just random strangers?
Yep. So the standards are Yelp, as an example, Google Maps. I've even used some Bluetooth technology where people will pick other review systems just for awareness. TripAdvisor, because there's a lot of tourists who come through and they'll go to that. In terms of that 26th hour,
26th hour or 8th day.
Social media. I don't spend enough time on Instagram and Facebook because that's in everyone's face all the time. In a business like this, you should be posting once, maybe twice a day, a story or
Those pictures of what's happening.
Yeah. I want to be customer facing, so you've got my attention as my customer. I'm not wanting to duck around the corner and be posting.
Right.
So, but at the same time, that will help bring in traffic. So it's a push-pull.
No, I understand. That could help reduce some of the admin tasks, would you? And would you give those admin tasks to a printer?
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't even hesitate. I was like, this,
No.
yes.
No, I didn't want to say yes. I wanted to emphasize
I
yes.
got you.
Yeah, absolutely. It just frees me up so much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, listen, any questions, any thoughts? Great, no questions. Love it. Thank you all for listening to our little discussion. I'll turn this back over to the HVT. Great. Thank you.
So that was really insightful. And thank both of you for kind of walking us through that, understanding the day in the life, understanding some of the pain points of being a small business owner, right? And really that balance between, let's see if I can get this right, the balance between the way I think about it, that there are things you have to do to work in the business, that administrative stuff that you have to do day to day, versus working on your business to help engage with customers, to help your business grow, right? And as a small business owner, you're constantly juggling with that. Just listening to them reminded me of another small business owner that we had interviewed. Happens to be a guy in Austin, Texas, who owns a tequila distillery. I guess that's what you call it. Pretty interesting business. He brings it in, distills it, and distributes it from Mexico. And he said the thing he spends most of his time on, and the thing that he hates the most, is basically everything that doesn't have to do with promoting and selling his brand. Right? So it really resonates with what you just heard, right? I want to spend time in front of customers. I want to be helping my business grow, but I have all of these administrative things. In fact, we did some research, day-to-day tasks, working in their business. And all of them are looking for opportunities to minimize that, shrink that, so that they can shift to that idea of working on your business, working on that growth strategy, working on where do we go? How do I bring in new customers? I don't even know if I should talk to this because they did such a great job illustrating it, but there's just all of these tasks that a small business owner has to work with, right? In purple, finance, accounting, HR, all of these things that are in the business versus these marketing and other areas where you're really working on expanding your business. I love how he illustrated, actually, this is from a business lens, but there's also all of the soft things that you have to do. And they're probably more impactful, right? I think you said the word that you're a mentor and a coach, and all of that, an advisor, right? A therapist, right? There's a lot of other things that go beyond just these organizational structure type things. But that in a large organization, you might have different people taking ownership of it and delegating. These small business owners don't. So we took these insights, and that's what led us to really refocusing and redesigning our Office Jet Pro line. How can we make it smarter? How can we make it more productive? And offload some of that into business work to help these small business owners kind of free their time and shift to help enabling their growth strategy. And I'm going to talk to you about the product and some of the decisions that we made along the way to really help and bring that to life. But before we do that, I wanted to start, and as with all of our product development journeys, it usually starts with looking at what are customers buying today? Constantly looking to improve and refocus and recalculate. So actually, right over there, you'll see the previous generation Office Jet Pro. Also, the picture here, it came in 2 colors. Overwhelmingly, what we saw from customers is some of the accolades, some of those are really positive things were around the print quality, the print speed, Instant Ink. We talked a little bit about Instant Ink. We'll go a little bit deeper on that later, but the value that we're offering with Instant Ink is really unique, and customers are really appreciating that. But there's always good and there's always bad. There's always things that we need to improve on and continue enhancing. These may or may not come to a surprise to some of you, but too much time. And then connectivity. Connectivity is about, first, getting it up and running, just connecting. Second, staying connected. You expect it to be on whenever you go to access it, right? And you don't have time, back to this idea of balancing your time, you don't have time to troubleshoot. So we took these insights and this understanding of where, of the challenges that SMB customers have, and we really went to focus our efforts around delivering these products. And I'm going to use the framework. I'm going to walk you through the design decisions that we made using that innovation framework that Lad introduced earlier. The design, experiences, and simplicity. And this is really with the focus around each of these. How did we create a design that fit an SMB environment? What are the experiences that are really relevant to small businesses? And how do we make it simpler? How do we make it simpler so that the product works for you, not against you? Helps frees up your time. But it starts with design. It starts with the design because, frankly, that's what you see. That's what pulls you in. Now, I want to talk to you about this idea of rapid organization. Rapid organization is basically, as we see really across the world, homes and places are just getting smaller. There's more people coming to the larger cities. In fact, a research study I recently read showed that studio apartments, over the past 10 years, studio apartments have reduced in size by 10%. But at the same time, over the same 10 years, they've increased in price, rent, by 28%. That phenomenon isn't just in renting your apartment, but it's also happening, that trend is also happening in environments like this, and you have to pay rent. So naturally, we see spaces are getting smaller, and we have to really be creative about optimizing your space and really optimizing the things that you put in, so you're maximizing usability of that space. Our business professionals getting more creative about being more flexible and more collaborative in these environments. So with that, we really looked to at how we would design these products to fit in there. And it started with really creating this more intuitive design. What you see when you first look at this, and I might stand over here so I can kind of point, I don't want to point. I'll stand over here. But what you see, the first thing you notice is really this block right in the middle. These hard lines make it feel, they call it refreshing and cool. They also said it looks durable, and that's deliberate. The durability kind of comes from these very hard lines. We also have this tri-color. If you notice, there are 3 different colors that kind of contrast that white block in the middle. What we've done is we've used these colors. First, you have your paper tray and your output tray. You'll notice it's a little bit lighter gray. We have around your control panel, you have that same color, and also in on the ADF. These were purposely done, and you'll see we have other colors. For example, this coral color that really accentuates that, because these are the areas where you want to, where the customer or the user really starts to engage with the products. We have 3 different colors that we're going to be announcing. The first one is this basalt. It's this lighter gray color. Second is oasis, this teal color, and then third is coral. Interestingly, so these colors that are trending, because you have to forecast this out many years. We have to think about what customers buy today, tomorrow. They look cross industry. It's not about what colors are relevant in the printing industry. In fact, you don't find these colors on printers today, but it's about what colors are relevant across the industry, fashion, furniture. And especially this oasis, this coral color are things that are really starting to pop and to become more and more popular. An interesting note, and this is actually a good proof point of that, is that coral was named the Pantone Color of the Year for 2019, which just recently came out. And we're offering these different colors because as you bring this printer into a small business like this, the small business owners, they want it to fit in the environment that they're using it in, right? This could sit on the counter and really start to blend in, probably a little bit more than our previous generation. So that's the design. That's kind of what it looks like. But then we also said, well, if all of these environments are shrinking, we need to kind of make sure that our devices are following the same trend. It's a pretty significant reduction, generation over generation. But we did that specifically focused on not making trade-offs on the experience. I mentioned earlier, the print quality, the speed. Those were important, and customers were very satisfied with them in the previous generation. So we made sure we didn't want to make a trade-off. We didn't go smaller and make a trade-off on those. But beyond that, we didn't just not make trade-offs. We actually added more capabilities to be able to make this a more productive device. I want to showcase some of those to you. The first thing, I'll walk through each of these, and I'm actually going to turn your attention to this because I'll just show them to you on here. The first thing we did, one of the things we did, is we added, put a page in to scan it. We now have, you have the scan bar here, and you also have a scan bar on top here. So we can speed up the scan speed, well, we can double it. In our previous generation, we did duplex scanning, but it required 2 passes. Again, this is about really trying to improve the productivity of these, of our customers. We've also added an extra tray. Just ran out of paper. You can add an entire ream, 500 sheet ream, and not have to return back to it. This one I love. In fact, I should just demo it. Who's ever scanned something like your ID? Okay, we have to do that sometimes. I'll just pick a card out of here. I want to scan it because it's my credit card. One of the challenges is that once you get it on here, you can't get it off. It takes a couple of minutes. These are small pain points, but this is something that kind of is just a frustrating task that you have to do when you have to do it. So with this new product, we have this easy slide off. In fact, if you want to come try, you can try and slide this off. This easy slide off glass that makes it quite simple to just pull it all the way off. You don't have that edge to now catch. And then this other one that I love is really about another piece of just simplifying the experience and really looking and trying to walk in the shoes of our customers and understand them. Have any of you ever printed, and when you're printing your documents, maybe the output tray starts to overflow and suddenly you have pages on the ground? 2, what if it needed to be in order? Now you got to spend the next 5 minutes resorting and reordering all the prints that you have. It's really frustrating. So in this product now we have output tray sensor that when you print and it gets to 100 pages, which is the capacity of the output tray, it'll actually stop. And it'll wait for you to take the paper away, and then it'll restart from where it left off. Again, another pain point, trying to alleviate some of the time that people have to spend managing their printer so that they can get to work. Any questions on these? Excellent. So that's really about the design, and we're really excited about this design. I personally think it's a beautiful device. I would be very proud to put this out. In fact, I have one in my house. But and it looks really nice. It looks nice here on the counter. And I think the additional design elements that we put into it to make sure that we had even more productivity in some of these use cases really add a special touch across a lot of the experiences. That brings me now to how we make these experiences more accessible, more relevant to the customer whenever they're using it. And it's really the HP Smart App. Our HP Smart App is really designed around unlocking you from your desk, unlocking you from your PC, and really enabling printing from anywhere, mobile printing from your phone. It's no secret. I probably don't have to prove to everyone that we use our phones more today than you probably use your PC. There's a lot of content that gets loaded into your phone that you might want to just print off. I'll give you an example. Every week, my son's in daycare, and every week I get an itinerary of like what he's going to do. And it was just an extra step that I had to remember. Now, I receive the email, pops up on my phone. In 2 clicks, it's printed at home, no matter where I am. So that when I get home, I can just grab it, throw it up on the fridge, because we always refer to it throughout the week to engage in a kind of, what did you learn today? Did you do this, right? So it really frees up my time, and kind of we've integrated different experiences like scanning. So you're going to see some demos, and one of the really cool things that you can do is scanning from your smartphone. So here, yes, we do have the flatbed scanner. We also have your ADF to quickly scan, but you can also use your phone to quickly capture things, to scan it or copy it in. And you'll see some of that soon. But back to what we heard earlier in some of our customer feedback, scanning can be a pain point. If you have digitizing documents, it is very time consuming. About a month ago, I was on a trip. I went to I guess it was actually a couple weeks ago. I was overseas, and I had to capture all of my documents, all of my receipts as I was traveling. So we have kind of an older expense system, and I used my smart app to capture all of those. Now, the challenge is, let me take you through my journey on this. For the first day, because I named them, dinner at such and such. And I emailed it to myself, dinner at such and such. I emailed it to myself, and cab ride 2, emailed it to myself. Fast forward the next day, I do the same thing. But I'm not real, it was something different. So then when I went back, I struggled because I didn't know how to sort my email and get all of these out. Not only was each one of these a unique, you have to grab it, you have to rename it, you have to put it where you want it, and it takes time. It's very manual. And sometimes the integration between different apps is really manual. This is simplify that. And we're launching something called Smart Tasks. This is within the Smart app, but also within the experience of the device itself, and you can access it from the control panel. And again, you'll see a demo of this, but this is really a way to create custom shortcuts. Now I can remove a lot of the steps. This is that document where I can find it later. It automatically syncs it up, perhaps with your Google Drive, with your OneDrive, with your Box, Dropbox, so with the device. So you can access these. You can access it directly from the printer. You can also access it from your phone. And then we also added some really nice it is and help you by automatically naming the file. And also, if you want to, it can create an editable. Trying to take out some of these steps by automating these custom shortcuts, or automating these steps to help you capture and get on with what you need to do. We're really excited about Smart Tasks. As when we tested this, we realized what we recognize is we're able to remove 81% of the steps involved in scanning, capturing, and either storing, or sometimes you want to scan or make a copy of something and just automatically print it out. In fact, we can do both by creating a custom shortcut. You can scan, store, and print a copy all within your custom shortcut. And it saves our customers about 50% of the time that it used to take whenever they're scanning. So this is something that we're very excited about. Okay, so we have the design. We've really tried to create an experience that really meets the customer where they are, starting with that mobile app, but also improving some of the core experiences around that were pain points like scanning. But then we move on to this idea of simplicity. How do we make a product that works for you and not against you? I think I've used that a couple times now. How do we make it seamless so that you're not dealing with interruptions? In fact, we did a survey of some of our customers and about some of the frustrations that they have. And the common theme across them were this idea of interruptions. I get interrupted when I'm low on ink, out of ink. I get interrupted when I have a problem with frustrated or extremely frustrated, and this is the percentage of the respondents that said that they're either frustrated or extremely frustrated. And these are some of the highest ones. All with, I want to free that up. I want to get this done quickly. I get it, so I can work on my business. The first piece on that was connectivity. I mentioned this earlier. The product, some of the product. How do we improve this? We really took that to heart and looked at the connectivity journey to understand how can we connect easily, but then how. Now, if you might recall, we first announced some of the self-healing Wi-Fi capabilities in our previous, in the fall launch of Tango, but we're enhancing it even more in our OJ Pro line. How self-healing Wi-Fi works, let me just walk you through it. We're constantly looking to detect issues. If you have a dropped connection, what happens is the printer will automatically try and recover. It may reset, trying to keep you up, your uptime higher, by trying to look out for you to make sure it's on. Now, sometimes that doesn't work. So a simple reset isn't going to actually make it connect. Well, we're intelligently looking at different things, and based on cues, we will prompt you on the screen, or your app, have like this, we don't know, not just taking you through a set of predetermined steps, but really trying to be more reactive to each situation and understanding what's causing the issue and what you need to fix. It may be insert your new password or something like that. So all of this is happening. These first two things are happening without your knowledge. And we only bring you in if we need your input. The second thing that was on that slide was really around the interruption of when I run out of ink. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about our Instant Ink program, but just to kind of recap it, just to help make sure everyone has a common understanding. Instant Ink, how much ink you have left, and when we see that your ink levels drop below a certain threshold, we proactively send you ink. Now, the customer previously had subscribed to some level of service, and that's $2, but $2.99 a month for the lowest plan, and that's counted. I say lowest. That's how many pages you print per month, and we'll send you ink proactively without charging you for that ink that we're sending you. It's all bundled in that. Now we're actually, as we're launching this product to focus more on and now we're launching a 700-page plan that is $19.99 per month to help solve that need of all those regulatory issues and all those things that he's printing a lot higher volume. Any questions on Instant Ink? That's going to take you a little bit deeper into the Instant Ink value prop and program and how it works. But this is what we've seen. This is a really compelling, not just a compelling value prop, but customers who are involved, who enroll in Instant Ink are generally have higher satisfaction than customers who don't. Not just about the ink, but about the overall experience with the product. This about making a simpler experience was really this idea of security and privacy. This is a big deal. Security and privacy is a big deal. Today, it's always been a big deal, but it has a lot of spotlight on it, even more recently. Small business owners have a pretty big challenge on their hand when it comes to privacy. Strong and expert at security. As you get to the small business owner, they're wearing all the hats. You can't expect them to be a security expert, a barista, and a therapist. Pick two, can't do all three. So we wanted to take on some of that burden. We wanted to make sure that we were making this, really bringing that best-in-class security to the OfficeJet Pro series to help those small business owners. We really look, when we talk about security, we look at the device, the data, and the document. We look and we work to how do we secure each of these. I'll highlight a couple of them that I think are really, really interesting. First, when it comes to the physical device itself, we have secure boot. Basically what happens is every time the device boots up, we're validating the firmware, the BIOS, or equivalent BIOS, and making sure that it's authenticated by HP. And if it's not, we will reset it. So if you get a virus in there or something changes, we're constantly monitoring that. Even once it comes up, we continue monitoring that as data passes through. And we'll reset it if needed to make sure that you have the highest level of security. That's that runtime code integrity. We also have WPA Enterprise capability that we're bringing to the OfficeJet Pro line so that you can put this in different types of environments, like an enterprise environment, with a tighter, more secure connectivity story. We're encrypting. This idea of encryption is very important as you're passing data back and forth. Even within a local network, you want it to be, maybe even more so within a local network, you want it to be encrypted as it's passing around. So that as you're in a small environment, if somebody else is on your Wi-Fi, they can't grab those packets and see what you're doing. So we have end-to-end encryption. And then finally, we have secure, this is actually the first product with secure IPP, or Internet Printing Protocol, as well as some other secure printing to make sure that the documents that you're accessing or the documents that you're sending stay secure, or are secure whenever they're passing over. This is a very important, I'll just kind of reiterate, we really take seriously the privacy and security aspect and want to make sure that we're protecting our customers whenever they're engaging with the product. We're bringing the innovations across those three pillars. And this is the lineup that we're launching. It starts from the 8025, the Optic Pro 8025 at 169. So, and goes up to the 9025, which is this product here. We're also launching an OfficeJet Pro Premier at $399. Now these are all available. These three are marked, you can kind of read on the slide, and these two will become available in May. You will also get, we can also provide data sheets for you that will go even deeper into some of these specs. But one of the things I want to kind of offer as a takeaway is we haven't really talked about specs. And that's somewhat intentional because what we're doing is really innovating around the experience of promotion, right? We're really looking at this as an ecosystem. You've heard about different solutions that we're bringing to market to help ease some of the pain and some of the pain points around frustrations, around engaging with your printer, around scanning, around getting it connected, staying connected. And we're really looking at not just how do we make it faster or a little bit better print quality. Yeah, we're looking at that. We do that. We have really good engineering around all of these in our print business. But how do we make it an easier experience? How do we get you engaged so that we can take more of your time off that working in your business and shift it to working on your business?
Jeffrey Powers, Geekazine.com. We're here at the Huawei and Honor booth. We're going to learn about the Mate 20. We're going to learn about their MateBook Series 13-inch laptop running at high-end core. A lot of power here. We're going to do that next on Geekazine CES 2019. All right, we're going to start with this. This is the Honor View 20. Nice little red color right here. It is an Android phone that's running on the Kirin 987 nanometer AI processor. Of course, 24 megapixel AI triple camera, 6.39 Magic Full View display, 40 watt Magic Charge with TUV safety certification, dual frequency precise GPS. Pretty nice one. Some of these phones, they have a 4,000 milliamp battery, which means that it'll charge 50% within 30 minutes. So that's pretty cool if you need a quick charge. So this is the Honor 8X, another nice little Android phone right here. Let's take a look at the back. Of course, this is the AI camera right here. We've got a fingerprint sensor right there. It's a 6.5-inch full view display, 91% screen to body ratio right there. 20 megapixel AI dual camera with a 16 megapixel selfie camera. This has got the notch on the front here. This phone has a 3750 milliamp battery and 12 nanometer Kin 720 octa-core chipset. All right, so tell us a little bit more about the Mate 13.
Since our first introduction in PC industry, so we've been evolving our portfolios. We have MateBook X as our flagship series. We have MateBook D series that has been compelling to students and young professionals.
Yeah.
We also have a MateBook E series that for the business users on the go and with its innovative 2-in-1 design.
Okay.
So this year, we're bringing our new Huawei MateBook 13. It's positioned between the MateBook X Pro and the MateBook D for the people who's demanding premium and powerful performance, portability at an affordable price.
So yeah, and I saw some of the specs. Is this a customizable thing, or like I noticed that had a 2 gigabyte
2 SKU.
Two SKUs on there, so you can choose one or the other from there. Okay, perfect.
Okay, we're offering 2 SKUs of MateBook 13 in United States. It's up to 8th gen Intel Core i7 with 8 GB memory and 512 storage. The graphic card's NVIDIA MX150 with 2G memory and TDP power is 25 watts. And for the people who doesn't need high spec, so we do offer another one, it's i5 8 GB memory, 256 with Intel UHD 620 graphic cards.
And of course, this is the Huawei MediaPad M5 Pro, their tablet. They got 3 different versions. You got the Lite, the M5, and the M5 Pro. This one coming with, looks like it comes with a case, 4096 level high precision stylus with it, and a PC mode for work, 10.8-inch 2K display, and quad stereo speakers with Harman Kardon tuning in it. It's got a 7500 milliamp battery, runs Android 8.0, and it has 4 gigabytes of RAM with 64 gigabytes of ROM, an 8 megapixel front camera, 13 megapixel rear camera, and a stylus is included. And that is at the Honor Huawei booth at CES 2019. We got a lot more coverage over at Geekazine.com. Go over to Geekazine.com, YouTube.com/Geekazine. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment down in the show notes there, and hit that bell notification for the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, you guys, geek out. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers with Geekazine. We're here at HuddleCam, and we're taking a look at a couple new HuddleCams here. This one is a simple, straightforward USB cam. It's got a privacy filter on it. It goes up to 1080p. Hooks right up to your on top of your TV, or it's got a mount for a camera. And they're coming out with it. They don't have a price point on this yet, but it is coming out very soon. So if you're looking for something with a simple streaming options, maybe some live streaming, some gaming or something like that, it's USB controlled. Competes with, of course, the Logitech type camera, and that'll be coming out soon. If you have a room, you want to do some conference type style. This isn't PTZ style. This is the Huddle Pair is what it's called. This is a higher end camera. Also USB driven, placed right on top of the TV. It comes with the wireless speakerphone, so we've got that, and the speakerphone is right here. So you put this on your tabletop, and then of course you put the camera up by the TV, so you can have like a conference type thing. But this can also work for some live streaming if you want to do it that way. That's a nice little pair, and this little pair right here is only $499, so that is pretty cool. That's the Huddle Pair, and then of course the webcam as well. And then they have the big thing right here. This is the new, is it HuddleCam HD? Is that what it's called? Yeah. Okay, HuddleCam HD. It is a simple track, which means that it tracks you. Now you'll see up here up on the screen, you'll have some lines, which of course won't be in your final video. And that's the tracking area. So when he walks, the camera moves with him. Now this camera, it's a little bit pricey, at about $3,000. But hey, if you're looking for something like, for instance, when I do live streaming, I'm a one-man show. So when somebody's walking around on stage and I'm trying to fix another problem, I can kind of do that without having to worry about losing the subject in the live stream. So pretty cool stuff. Let's take a look at the back really quick here. So on the back we have, looks like we have the Ethernet. We have USB 3.0, RS-232, SD, and of course a DVI. And that's all the fun, cool stuff at the HuddleCam and PTZ Optics booth. They've got some great cameras. I've used their cameras as well. $3,000 for that interactive camera, but it's well worth it if you're doing a lot of recording of people moving around. So awesome stuff. And then of course the conference cameras, the USB cameras, amazing stuff. Everything over at Geekazine. Go over to Geekazine, like, subscribe, comment over at Geekazine.com, YouTube.com/Geekazine. And both of them will have that little bell that'll notify you when the next video comes out. Until next time, you guys, geek out and take care.
So what we're showing here, this is the iRig Micro Amp. The iRig Micro Amp is a 15 watt portable guitar amplifier. You can plug it in or it'll run off of batteries. It's got 3 channels, clean, drive, and lead, with mid, low, high, and gain control, so you're able to get a really nice range of tones. But what makes this really special is actually it has an iRig HD2 circuit built in, so you can also connect it to your iPhone, your iPad, or your Mac and PC. Now that's really cool for us because we make Amplitude, which is going to give you tons of really great modeled guitar tones, but it also works with tons of other apps, so it makes it a really powerful practice solution. You can use it with Musician to learn, you can use it with Ultimate Guitar to practice songs, you can use it with GarageBand or Cubasis to record. So it's a very simple way to plug into a very wide range of all different kinds of learning and music creation apps. It actually has a cabinet output, so you can plug it into a larger cab like we have here. 15 watts is only going to get you so loud. Yeah. So yeah, you could absolutely mic it up and have that mic go to a PA or something like that. Well, it also actually has a headphone output too, so if you wanted, you could actually go directly to headphones or into a mixing board, so you wouldn't have any sound at all. $149.99 MSRP.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Dan, thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome.
And that is the iRig. Sweet. It's so small and it's so lightweight, and you know, I could see if you're a quick performer, you know, going to an open mic or something like that, and you want to have a different sound than just going straight through the board. You can do that here. You can bring it in, set it down, go from there, plug in your iPad, use a program like Ultimate Guitar or something like that to pull up your lyrics and tones, and it's amazing what you can do. And check it out over at Geekazine, youtube.com/Geekazine. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification for the next video, and we'll go from there. So next time, you guys rock out and geek out. What's up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, and we're in the studio doing an unboxing today. We are unboxing the IK Multimedia iRig Micro Amp, and we're going to do that right now. Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine, Think Magazine, put in the geek. You got me. You can find me over on Twitter. You can find me over on Facebook. Just Think Magazine, put in the geek. Boom, there you are. So today we're going to be taking a look at this thing right here. It is the iRig Micro Amp from IK Multimedia. What is it? It is a 15-watt amp for guitar playing, and it connects up to your phone, so you could actually use the Amplitude software or a vast amount of other software to change the tone of your guitar to play like the artist plays. In some cases, you just have to call up an app and it'll have the pedal board for you. Just hit the button and the sound is exactly the same. It's pretty amazing. Check it out. We've got the page up here over on IK Multimedia's website. It is the iRig Micro Amp, 15 watt battery powered guitar amplifier, iOS, US, Android, and I don't know if they're going to hook them up here, but we'll definitely use this. You can use this. The one cool thing about this is, this is something you can also use on stage as well as in the practice area. Now you think to yourself, a 15-watt amp, that's not going to be that great. But when you pair it into a system, put a nice microphone to it to go through your main system, that can carry your sound. And this could have the right sound for you, but it's not for everybody. Not at all. So let's just move the coffee mug here. Let's give it an unboxing. Let's see where we go from there. So here, we're going to flip it around. This is the iRig Micro Amp. As you can see, we look at the side here. Got the top. It tells you some of the different the apps that you can use. On the side here, it shows you the on-off switch, the instrument input, the auxiliary input, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and give this open this up. And I think I started here. So we'll pull that out here. We'll open this up and then we'll slide this out. Sometimes it's just easy to let gravity take its natural course on things. And maybe not. Let's just pull this out here. That's always the fun part, is trying to get these first boxes out. There we go. There we go. Natural gravity. There it is. We'll just set that there, because we do need to return this. By the way, this is a product that I got from the company. No sponsorship with it, and I'm actually going to be returning this product. You got any questions, you can go over to my review page over at geekazine.com/review. That will tell you how I review things and how you can get your product in the studio to get reviewed as well. So let's go back here. Let's take a look at this. So we got an opening right here. I'm going to pop this open, but I think I need to turn this way. All right. Lift the lid, and it says it's inspected. Can you see that? Inspected by 4. 4 inspected this one right there. So let's do that. Now, on top, what we have here, and I don't know how well you can see that. Let me just kind of... So what we got here, we'll start with this. We got, it looks like the USB micro cable. We got a cable that is iPhone to USB micro. These are very handy cables right here. So this is the first cable. This is the second cable. We got, over here, we've got, looks like some sort of, oh, it's connection. Basically, you can put this onto a microphone stand and turn it into a stand for cameras or iPads or whatever. That's the idea of this one. I'm not sure exactly what that goes for just yet. We've got 6 AA batteries here, so we can start rocking right away. The IK multimedia software. Now I've found that this is very important to keep around because this usually has like a serial number for the software in it, and you definitely want those. And then of course, once again, we're going to let gravity do the work and pull out the main thing here. Let's just switch it back here. There we go. And then we'll slide this out. Here we are, the iRig micro amp. We got some styrofoam we'll take out, and we've got some plastic on the side that will pop out here. Now once again, this is 15 watt amp. So on its own, it's, you know, it's a great little practice amp, but once again, it's got some pretty serious gear inside of it. So you could hook this up and put this into your production area. And look at this, and it's so lightweight. I mean, I don't have a scale nearby, but I'd say at least a pound or 2. It's all plastic on the outside, and this feels like some sort of rubber right here. On the front here, we have the iRig logo, and then the speaker. I'm guessing it's right here. Single speaker. Gosh, that has to be what, 6 inches maybe? 6-inch speaker. On the top here, let's just zoom in a little bit so you can see the top a little bit better. There we go. So we have the power button up here. We've got the gain, the bass, the mid, the treble, the volume. We got a clean channel, a drive channel, and a lead channel. We've got where you plug in your guitar or other instrument. You don't have to use the guitar, you can use another instrument. The auxiliary in and headphone out, and then the USB. Oh, that's a light, and that's the USB adapter, and that's micro in. So and you might not be able to see this on the back here. And there we go. On the back here, we do have DC power, which you don't get a plug for. So you'd have to get your own DC power. It looks like a 9 to 15 volt plug with the tip as a negative, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, tip is negative and the shield is positive. And then of course, this is your speaker out. So you can actually plug this into a cab if you wanted to. So if you're at a practice facility or something like that, you can definitely plug it into their cab and use their cab and power it more. Looks like we got the AA's right there, so we're going to quickly pop the back on here. We'll flip this around. We'll just hit the power button. And it looks like we got some lights lighting up. We got the clean channel, we got the drive channel, we got the lead channel. And this will depend on how you have your phone set up. Now let's hope, because I didn't bring in the iPad, silly me, but let's hope that the iPhone will not have any phone calls while we're doing this unbox here. Now, first of all, I just want to see, yeah, okay. So this screw thing right here can go, looks like it can go underneath possibly. We'll have to take it out, so let's make absolutely sure here. So you can put this onto a microphone stand and use it like that. So let's do that. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah, it screws right in. So it would just basically put your iRig on a microphone stand, so have it on a stick if you wanted to, so you could have it close by. So this might also be a perfect guitar monitor for you, so you can put it right next to your microphone and have it pointed towards you, so you can hear what you're playing, as opposed to a mix of stuff. So that's pretty cool. All right. Make sure it's on clean, that way we're not blowing apart anything. We'll just plug this in, and I haven't used the Amplitude software on my iPhone in a while. There we are. So here's the Amplitude software. We'll put that in, and there we go. Enable analytics. Yeah, let's do that. But here we are. So we've got our different sounds right here. So what we do now, let's flip this around. Let's go to the main camera here. So now we have the Amplitude, and slight mess here. Let's grab the guitar, and we got a plug right here. We're gonna plug in one end to here and the other end to here. We'll get some volume. And so I have it on clean. Let's go to drive. If there's a drive. No, it doesn't look like it. I think we have to set it up. So we can do that. We can adjust the gain. We can put some, let's put some mid and bass in here. And here's some treble. To get an idea, let's point the speaker towards this so you can hear a little bit better. Now, as you can see, we'll hit gets right now. We've got no stomp pedals in here. Let's add a pedal, and let's do delay. Let's just do a delay. I don't know if it's connected just up. Okay. Now I've unplugged it. You get that, you hear that. Now let's plug this back in. And we're gonna get a sound. Let's add, let's see. Let's add something that's a little bit more mellow. Let's do a little phase action. Turn that on. So you get that, and let's see, we can do live. And the cool thing about live is they've got different presets, if I remember. Let's do it almost clean. And then, you can do the .8 lead. I'll show you on the PTZ side. So that's what we have right now. And of course we can use different apps, like for instance, let's see. Let's bring up my Tabs app. I think we'll see if there's Kid Rock has a tone bridge. Yeah, okay. So we have the tone bridge, which is the effect for the song All Summer Long. So that's technically if you wanted to play All Summer Long by Kid Rock, which is basically this. You can do that, nice little riff right there. Or if we want to change this to something a little bit more, you know, like the Eagles or something like that, let's see, go. I haven't played this in a while. All right, let's point it this way. So as you can see, pretty good sounding amp. I think I'd probably would turn down, put a little bit more bass into it. You get the idea. So basically that is the iRig micro amp. It is small, 15 watts, 6 AA batteries, or of course you can plug it in to a DC output so you can rock along, and perfect for practice, sometimes perfect for taking out with gigs for you. The only thing that's missing, I think it really does need a handle. I think that's the one thing that is really missing. But you can also put this onto a microphone stand with the adapter. And of course, you can plug it into your iPhone. It doesn't look like you can plug it into an Android that I know of, but that might be wrong. You can plug this into your PC and use tones from there. And go from there. Pretty cool little amp, iRig multi-recording, or iRig, excuse me, micro amp. That's what it's called, micro amp. And you can check it out. It's $149, and we'll show you the page once more of the micro amp. $149. I'll have a link in the show notes on how to get it and go from there. Thanks a lot for watching. Jeffrey Powers here. You've been watching the IK Multimedia iRig Micro Amp unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it, and you enjoyed a little bit of my guitar playing, even though it wasn't perfect. You can find me over at Geekazine, over at youtube.com/Geekazine. Let's turn down this gain, and let's turn up this volume, and let's do some strumming. And a lot more, so you can check that out over at Geekazine, Think Magazine, Food and a Geek. And until next time, you guys geek out and take care. This video is brought to you by Kingston Technology, makers of solutions that accelerate production in the film industry. So Michael, tell us what we got here.
Sure, so what you have here are, you're at the Insta360 booth, and we have a whole line of 360-degree cameras, all the way from small, tiny, consumer-friendly cameras, all the way to more advanced cinematic cameras. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to focus on our two most popular cameras today.
Okay.
The first one that we're going to talk about is the Insta360 1X.
Okay.
The 1X is the world's most popular consumer 360 camera.
Yeah.
It's not positioned as a camera for VR. It's an action camera that just happens to shoot 360.
Okay.
And the major difference being that if you're looking at getting a normal fixed angle action camera versus a 360, why limit yourself to just one field of view? You can get everything.
Okay.
Now the resolution on this shoots up to 5.7K.
Okay.
You can shoot 24, 25, 30 frames per second. It can also shoot high frame rate, all the way up to 50 and 100 frames per second.
Okay. Wow. 100 frames per second.
Slow motion at 3K.
That's awesome.
The great part is there's been some great improvements over the former generation. It's now Wi-Fi enabled. It has this great LCD screen. The sensor and the lens is physically bigger, and it's got removable batteries.
Okay.
So beyond just the simple features, what's really amazing about this camera is what you can do on the post side. So
Okay.
after you're done shooting, you essentially take the video file. You can either wirelessly download directly onto your phone, or you can plug a cable in to download 2 times faster. And once you do that, you get the option to reframe, add filters, color correct, do all these things in the app, speed ramp, add motion blur that you can't normally do in a normal action camera.
Okay.
So we're really
Is this
excited about it.
what type of USB connection are we talking?
So there's physically on the side of the camera, there's a micro USB connection, but there's 3 cables that comes with the camera: micro USB to Lightning, micro USB to micro USB, and micro USB to Type C.
Okay.
So we fit all phone types, for
Okay.
Android and iOS.
Perfect.
And what's really great is the resolution that you're able to extract after you reframe. So with a 5.7K camera, if you select the best angles and moments from your shot, you're getting at least a 1080 all the way to 2K file that you can then import into your regular timeline.
Okay. Wow.
So at the capture level, it saves a user a ton of time, and you also get so much more. So for example, you're flying in a helicopter. Instead of having, if you want to get a shot of a bird's eye, and then you also want to get a shot of a camera panning up and revealing the cityscape, you would have to do that 2 times. And
Yeah.
physically have to do that. This time, all you do is you capture it 1 time, and then you shoot first point later.
That's
do
awesome.
everything in post.
Now, I was looking at a company that they had the car, and then they had all the screens around it. You get in the car, it looks like you're driving nightlife and stuff like that. You could actually put this camera on top of your car to record that type of footage to use for something like that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. And of course, you're not seeing this, but down on the app, it's a little bit fuzzy, but that's because of the wireless connection. But this is where you can see, hopefully you can see that with a little bit of glare, but we can see what's going on as we're recording, and it's doing it pretty well.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, on the former generation, live previewing on the capture side was not an option.
Yeah.
And with the upgraded chipset and sensor, you can do that now.
Awesome. So, and now this camera, let's talk about price points and availability. How much is it?
$399 at retail.
Okay.
It also comes with a variety of accessories because it's got the quarter 20 mount on it. So the accessory that you're seeing on it now is our selfie stick.
Okay.
And if you scroll down, the selfie stick gets auto erased from the shot. So this is live. So you're not seeing it.
Oh, that's my tripod you're seeing. Okay. Yeah, you see a little.
We're seeing the tripod itself.
I don't know if you can see that because there's a glare on the screen, but I'm trying to do that. But yeah, you see the other tripods.
So if I take the camera and hold it, this is the better shot right here. Wait, hold on 1 second. We're recording, guys. So if you look at us, you're not seeing the pole in my hand.
That is crazy.
And I can move it anywhere.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, awesome. Very awesome. So, and it's available now, you said, right?
It's available now. It's available on Insta360.com. It's available on Amazon. It's available at every Apple store globally, so you can get it in a variety of places.
Okay, perfect. So, that's for the consumer. Let's talk about the professional that wants to do a little bit more than this.
Absolutely. So once you've used an Insta360 camera, you can use this small camera or you can use this big camera the same exact way. There's a very small learning curve for what it takes to use it. It connects to Wi-Fi. You can
control the camera through your phone app, through a computer, through an iPad. It's pretty device agnostic.
Okay.
And the difference being resolution. So this camera is called the Titan. It records up to 11K 2D or 10K 3D.
Say that again.
It records up to 11K 2D or 10K 3D.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So 10K and 11K is all around you. It's the sphere.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to show is that a 360 camera can be used not just for VR, but for traditional capture as well.
Okay.
So when you're reframing on this camera and you're selecting the best angles and moments that you care about, you're able to extract 4K out of this camera.
Okay.
So
Wow.
you can take that reframed 4K and you can put it into your professional workflow for TV, for film, for Netflix deliverables that's delivering 4K.
Yeah.
So it's super high end. And the camera sensors itself, they're micro four thirds. So the low light shooting is incredible. It comes with this device, which is called Farsight. Farsight, it may sound very trivial to the average filmmaker, but for 360 cameras, it's unheard of. In fact, it's so new that nobody else has it for their cameras. It's the first ever long-range wireless transmitter that will send a fully stitched 360 video file up to a third of a mile away, so you can live monitor and not be in your own shot.
Really? That is awesome.
Wow. And now recording-wise, each of the camera sensors, it has 8 of them, has their own full-size SD card that it records a file onto.
Okay.
When you're ready for post, you take each of the files out and you essentially you put them into a multi-card SD reader.
Okay.
You bring them onto your computer, and then you can import them immediately as a stick.
Yeah.
And you're also shooting in the dark. So we've made some major improvements for the whole industry from a production standpoint and from a post-production standpoint.
That is awesome.
Titan is available for pre-order now. It's going to start shipping next week, as early as next week, and it retails for $15,000 US.
15,000.
Yeah.
So I'll let me just grab my wallet here really quick.
You'll take 2, right?
I'll take 2.
Okay.
And well, we got the small one right here, which is $399, and we got the big one here coming out soon, the Titan, for $15,000.
$15,000, and then we have a
$399, 15. $399, 15. Awesome.
and we got a couple in between.
Okay. Oh yeah. I see one. There's one in the background over there, if you can see it, and awesome stuff. So, YouTube.com/Geekazine. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment. That bell notification on YouTube and on Geekazine.com will tell you when the next video is coming out, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot for everybody and my friends over at Kingston Technologies for getting me out to Civic Year 2019. And until next time, you guys geek out in a VR world. Take care. What's up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, and today we're taking a look at this IK Multimedia iRig microamp right here. Next on Geekazine. Welcome to Geekazine. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.geekazine.com. And I take a look at all the cool tech, including music tech, because I'm a musician. And we're taking a look at this thing right here. It's IK Multimedia iRig microamp. Of course, as you know, like I said, I play music myself. You know, as a musician, we have to practice, and sometimes we can't find the place to practice, especially when we want to really kind of grunge it up, make it sound really powerful, because, you know, you just can't always play without that crunch, without those effects, because sometimes those effects really help in expressing yourself and expressing what you're trying to do, so you can practice, so you can do it in front of the crowds and make lots of money and lots of fame and notoriety. And that's where a product like the iRig microamp really comes into play. It competes, it's not really meant for on-stage performance. It's meant for practicing. It's meant for getting in the backyard and just kind of showing your friends what you can do type thing. Similar to the Pig Nose of many, many years ago, the really compact portable amp. This one is very similar. It runs on several AA batteries or up to a 15-watt power supply. It gives you 3 options: a clean tone, a semi-clean tone, and a lead tone. And of course, dials for gain and treble, mid, and bass to really bring in your tone. You can use a 4-inch speaker that's inside of here, which is okay. It's not the greatest thing to listen through, but it's great for practice. Or you can plug in a set of headphones through the amp. You could also bring in an audio source like a CD or an MP3 player, or maybe your iPhone or something like that. And then have the music pass through while you're playing. So it's perfect for practicing. But the real power is when you do plug it into your iPhone, your iOS device, your tablet, your Android device in some cases, or your computer through the adjoining cable, and using the Amplitude app or whatever software you use to really model your amps after. You can really start to make some sound out of this for your practice time, for your small playing, buskering time, and stuff like that. It's a perfect little amp for that. Now it does convert to a 24-bit, and it does have a sample rate of either 44.1 kilohertz, 88.2 kilohertz, or 96 kilohertz. And it can accept anything with a 1/4-inch plug. So you could plug in a microphone if you wanted to. You could plug in another instrument, but this is really meant for the guitar. This can also be kind of a personal monitor if you have it set up right on stage, as long as your main sound doesn't come through this. That you should be fine, but you could probably hook this up on stage, point it towards yourself so you have some sound coming back, or you know, for a piano or for a guitar even possibly. So completely turned off. Let's take a look at this. You have a 4-inch speaker inside of here. Up on top you have the dials. Once again, you have your gain dial, your bass, your mid, your treb, and then of course the volume button. You have 3 buttons. These 3 buttons only work if you do not have any iOS device plugged in. You have your power button right here. You have an auxiliary input, and then of course a headphone jack so you can hear what you're doing. Over here is the USB. It's a micro USB, so you'll have to have, and it comes with a micro USB to Lightning, and I believe one to USB. But you might have to get one for your device, especially if it's USB-C. Back here you have a single plug, 2 plugs. Basically, this goes to an external speaker or a mixer, like I will be doing shortly, and then a DC of 9 to 15 volts. And of course, in the back we can plug in. We got 6 batteries, AA batteries. I'm not sure why they just didn't do a 9-volt battery, but 6 AA batteries. I'm using the plug to keep it powered on. On the bottom is a screw for the ability to put it onto a stand, so you could actually have it kind of to your face so you can hear what's going on. One thing that this is missing is a handle. It's so small, it's kind of hard. It's too big to pick up with one hand. I move this around a lot, and if you're holding onto a guitar, you know, you just don't have 2 hands to sometimes grab onto it. And so I feel that it's best if it had some sort of handle. It's easy to put a handle onto one of these things, a little strap handle, but that was the one thing that was I felt was missing right off the bat. Of course, this device really starts to shine when you do plug it into bigger amps. So let's say you go to a practice space and there's an old amp there. You can plug this into that and really push out the sound so people can hear it. When you actually attach the iPad or the iPhone to it and bring in your own sounds, your pedal board, maybe the iRig Stomp, you can really make this sound pretty decent. Not perfect, but you know, it's a 15-watt amp. Then no matter what you do, it's still going to be a 15-watt amp in the end. But it's perfect for schlepping around for a practice or having in the car just in case you decide to do some busking or something like that. Now let's go on the overhead cam and see how this sounds. Okay, so here we go. We got the cam overhead here, and I've got the iRig. First of all, we're going to show you, I turned down the gain all the way to nothing. And we're going to go through the 3 settings without any gain, and then we're going to plug it in the iPad and then bring the gain back in. So just strum. Pretty straightforward on there. We'll give it a little bit more teeth here. Teeth. No gain once again. And this is directly into the amp through a 1/4-inch cable into the mixing board. So now we'll go back here. We'll give it part gain. We'll go about 50% here and see what happens. I also put a little bit of compression on this channel so it doesn't blow out completely. Let's go a little bit heavier. All right, and now let's give it all. All right, let's go back here. As you can hear on that high end, you're gonna get a lot of noise. We're gonna do total gain. We're gonna turn down the volume just a touch here. So. And I'm going to plug this into the iPad to show you some of the different tones that I've got. These 3 buttons right here will not work at all, because everything is coming through here. Now we'll crunch it up a little bit. And a little bit of lead. Oops, missed on that. We'll go back to the one I usually use, and we'll go right into the pedals. As you can see, there's my pedals. I got a acoustic simulator, the T-Rex Molar decomp, and a limiter, and then of course just a standard reverb type amp. And then let's see, we got the post effects being a delay, which is turned off right now, and Obsession. Both of those are turned off right now, so we'll just leave those off. As you can hear, we've got a little bit of slap back on that reverb coil. That's kind of nice. I like that. And so you have it from there. So you can use your iPad and get some good sounds, or just use this as it's on its own, and just to get some rough, work out some really rough stuff. And then of course you can put in the headphones so you can hear it as you go. That way you're not bothering anybody, as it doesn't have a bad sound to it when it comes to practicing. I'll most likely have headphones in here when I go to practice, but it's great. It's a great little amplifier to have. I've also plugged it into my keyboards, and it's great that I can put it on top of the piano and have something coming back at me, because sometimes when you're playing, some of the other instrumentalists, vocalists get a little bit louder than what you want to hear, and having something you can even put a set of headphones into to hear what you're doing can help you build better chops. But anyway, have you tried the micro amp? Let me know by tweeting me over at Geekazine, of course, facebook.com/Geekazine, and then of course, youtube.com/Geekazine. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and all that other cool stuff over there. And over on Geekazine.com, there is a bell notification to let you know when the next video comes out, because we've got lots of videos coming out, and especially with CES 2020 coming out very soon, we're going to have a lot of stuff from there. Got a lot of stuff from NAMM as well. So I will definitely be checking out IK Multimedia's new products. You can go and check me out at Geekazine.com. Until next time, you guys geek out and take care.
All right, really quick here. Just so you know, I did just hook it up to a microphone, even though this is not meant for a microphone. I know a few of you are going to be asking about it. Just using a regular dynamic microphone right there. And we're putting in the iRig. As you can see, there's nothing plugged in just yet, but there is a micro, and we'll show you that in a second here. Regular volume, you get a little bit more here, and then you can kind of adjust the gain. Let's bring that down a little bit. In fact, I'm going to bring it all down for this last one here so we don't squelch your ears out. Going to bring it up just a little bit. Now, what's really cool about this is I can turn out the gain. Let me show you really quick. And so that's the sports score. Tonight we won 22-21. Can you believe it? You got a little bit of a fun effect here. But we can also plug it into and use a program called Microom, which is part of the IK Multimedia family. Let's do that really quick. Everybody, so here we go. We've got it hooked up here. As you can see, I'm going to turn down the volume, turn up the volume using this, and so you hear that. So we got a regular dynamic microphone. Let's switch it up into a dynamic 20. So this is more of your podcast type microphone right here. Really deeper sound. We'll go to condenser right here. Let's hit the condenser microphone. So this has a little bit more plosives because I'm closer to my microphone, because this is a dynamic microphone we're coming from. So as you can see, as you can hear, you could definitely use this for something like, if you're doing like little speeches on your front steps or something like that, you could definitely set this up as a vocal microphone. You'll need the right cable to do it, and that's basically an XLR to 1/4-inch cable. But if you're down in the basement, you're just having some fun, maybe doing some karaoke. This has got a nice old telephone mic sound to it. You can definitely do that. We'll raise up the volume just a little bit and have some fun with it. So that is Microom, which is also part of IK Multimedia, into the iRig, and it sounds pretty good. So I could see this, like I said, not for a band, but for solo work. If you're just giving a speech or something like that, perfect for a speaker that's doing a presentation in odd places. I don't know. So, and I might even use this for some of my live streams, because sometimes they have audiences. That's really nice if I had an amp that just showed a little bit of sound, gave a little bit of sound, so people could hear the overall sound. So not too bad. And yeah, there we go. That sound good? Then there's the rules over there. All right, let's move on from here. Let's talk about our main subject here, and that is Apple and the new Mac Pro and the new I already forgot the name of the version of Apple. Catalina. Mac Catalina. iOS Catalina. iOS 13. All that other good stuff. And they basically announced, hey, with all these new updates, one of the things, and we knew it was coming, iTunes was old. It started out, it was great when it started out, and then it got better, and it got better. Then they had podcasts, it got better. Then they added it for Windows, and it got better. And now it's just like, okay, we're in 2005 technology. Let's get into 2019. This is basically an albatross on our Macs. So let's do away with it. And they've been working on doing away with it for years. In fact, the first thing they wanted to make sure was that iPhone and iPad did not really come up with iTunes. In fact, what was it, last year or something like that? They basically split it up, and they said, okay, you got your podcast app, you got your music app, and you got there's a third app, and I'm blanking on it right now, but that's okay. We don't care about the apps. So already your iPhone and your iPad does this. There's no iTunes now. So now they're giving you a version of Mac where you don't need to download iTunes. No, that piece of software, don't have to worry about it. In fact, when you install Catalina, iTunes will go away. It doesn't mean your music's going away. It doesn't mean your TV and movies. That's the other one. It doesn't mean your Apple TV movies and stuff like that's going away. It doesn't mean your podcasts are going away. It just means that it's going to take those apps that we saw on the iPhone, that we saw on the iPad, and put them onto your desktop and put them into the operating system. It also technically doesn't mean that iTunes is going away just yet. Eventually it will. But I'm guessing this is going to be a multi-year thing, where 5 years from now, we're going to report, hey, iTunes is finally dead. Because there's a lot of people that are asking, what about the Windows users? What about the Mac users that can't upgrade to Catalina? All of those people will still have a version of iTunes, and they'll continue to do updates for an amount of time, just like any other piece of software. And then at one point,
a couple years down the road, maybe a year. Well, Apple is pretty quick at throwing down the axe sometimes for these other programs. So you'll still see some updates on Windows. You'll still see some updates on Mac. Maybe in a year, we'll see a Windows version of the podcast app, of the Apple TV app, and of the music app. Because there's still a good amount of people that have an iPhone, but still have a Windows desktop. And then they'll have those apps individually set up. But for now, we've got Catalina. They want to get Catalina, the Mac, to work pretty natively with these programs. And they're just going to show up as, icons on your Mac. Go to your podcast app, go to your Apple TV app, go to your music app, and do what you need to do. And then iTunes, eventually, down the road, 5 years. 5 years at most. I'm thinking since it's Apple, it'll be a lot less, but I'll just say 5 years. We'll take a conservative approach on this, and in 5 years, gone. For now, still have iTunes. You still have your podcast. You still have your music. You still have your Apple TV. If you live in that ecosystem. If you don't live in that ecosystem, doesn't matter. That's going to all stay the same. So, and like I said, iTunes, it's time for iTunes to go bye-bye. It was one of the best things to have at the beginning, and it's made them a lot of money. But sometimes you just got to go, okay, time to move forward, and that's what's going on here. Is they are moving forward with free apps, and down the road that could even split into more apps. Well, maybe with Apple TV, you might have Apple TV and Apple Movies or something like that. I don't know. But for now, it's just the 3, and which makes perfect sense. And the best part is now, if they decide to do subscriptions on any of these things, they can do individual subscriptions. Could you imagine Apple doing a podcast subscription service where for $10 a month, you can get Apple Podcasts, Apple-proof podcast, stuff that's not on your regular podcast feeds? Would it still be called a podcast? It's on Apple. People are still going to call it a podcast, even if it ditches the RSS feed. That's kind of the catch-22. Even though Apple didn't really start podcasting, they've owned podcasting since 2005, 2004, whenever they started on iTunes. So it is what it is, and we just accept it. And I want them to do that. I want them to kind of say, okay, we're kind of ditching the RSS feed in a way, and we're going to have it where we're going to have podcasts that don't come with an RSS feed that you can see at least, because the RSS feed is starting to get old. It needs to be updated some way. And that's what I like about Facebook. That's what I like about and I created an audio version of this podcast, which does go up on iTunes, does go up on podcasts, and you can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it, watch it on Facebook. You can listen to it on iTunes. You got 3 ways to do it, and that's great. But with in some of these cases, you don't have to. I don't have to worry about an RSS feed. Just put it on my Facebook group, and that's what I love about Facebook podcasting. So I'm going to do some more videos on how to Facebook podcast. I think this is going to be it's going to grow. It's going to grow, and especially if Facebook decides to get into the audio game. They can't ignore the fact that Spotify is going all in on podcasting. They can't ignore the fact that that podcasting is going to be $1 billion industry in a few years, advertising-wise. So I'm expecting Facebook to have a podcast area, audio-only podcast area, because they do video already. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? You can let me know. You can tweet me over at Geekazine, geekazine@gmail.com, facebook.com/Geekazine, or groups/how to podcast. Go down, ask the questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? And we'll talk about it on the show, and I'll try and answer your questions as we go, and go from there. So, all right, that does it for this week. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys very much for listening. We'll, like I said, schedule will dictate no show next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of How To Podcast. And please give me some input so I can continue to keep this show rolling in the positive direction that it always is going. So thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. Until next time, you guys geek out, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Damn, 2019, we're in the loud part already. We're here with Marco, and we've got this thing right here. It's called the Jammy. We're going to jam the Jammy next on Geekazine NAMM 2019. So, what is so special about this guitar?
Well, this guitar is special in a number of ways. First, it's a digital travel guitar. So we set out with an idea to make a guitar that a player like myself would be able to take with me on any trip I go, even if it's for business, because I don't do music professionally.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have an instrument that I could put in my backpack and not have to worry about the airlines crashing it. I wanted to take it with me on the plane.
Put it right in the overhead.
Yeah, I wanted to put it on in the overhead. So how do we do that? We decided we're gonna make the guitar split just like this.
Whoa! 2 parts.
So it splits in 2 parts.
Oh, that's cool.
And it comes as close as possible to a real guitar size. So it's 15 frets.
Okay.
And it's got real steel strings, so it preserves that real guitar feel.
Okay. So basically, you got a button here, or is it this thing?
Let me disconnect the strap for now.
So does this take it apart right here?
Yep.
Okay. So I lift that up.
Yep. And then
pull it out.
Yep.
All right. So there's the neck right there, and then we have the bass, and there's the connection for the bass. But there's more taking apart of this, right?
Yeah. Sure. So the body just comes off like this,
so
and it folds like so.
Wow. Do you need these parts with you? Can you just take these 2 pieces?
You can play with just these 2 pieces. We just found that these add the comfort for when you want to play while sitting down.
Yeah. So I can sit here and strum.
Yeah. On a strap, this works perfectly fine.
Okay.
But if you want to play while sitting down, you want to add this part. It just makes it.
Will that become modular? Like you can have different designs and things like that?
Yeah. That's the idea going forward. But for now, we're just focusing on making the basic, the main experience work really well.
Okay.
But yeah, I can imagine this having more buttons, allowing you some other possibilities. For now, like we're pretty minimalistic in terms of the controls we have here.
Yeah.
This knob, it controls the volume, but if you press it, it toggles between effects pedals that are built into the sound engine right here on board.
What kind of like a reverb or?
Yeah, let me show you right here.
So this is the app right here.
And this is me pressing the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can set up not only just a pedal, but a pedal chain.
Yes, a whole chain, and this way you're switching between the chains.
Okay. And then these pedals, they're software that you guys developed, or are they?
Yeah, they're basically these pedals. They trigger the built-in effects on one of the chips that we're using right here.
Okay. So you guys did a crowdfund.
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah, we ran a crowdfunding on Indiegogo. On the original run, we collected something like almost 500 pre-orders.
Okay.
Right now, towards the end of our pre-order phase, we're up to 1,000 pre-orders.
Okay. Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. We ran a successful beta test, collected tons of really useful, helpful feedback.
Does this collect data as well, or no?
It does. And in a way, it's so since it's basically MIDI, we can store pretty much everything that you play. I think up to 48 hours of music.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And then you can retrieve all of that through the app. So
you can see which notes you missed as you're
absolutely. Unlike some other MIDI guitars, this doesn't require you to use the app. So it's fully standalone. It's got the sound engine right here on board, and the effects are right here on board. It even has backing tracks right here. So if you want to practice,
like a headphone jack.
Yeah, there's a headphone jack right here.
Okay.
So you can plug in your headphones, launch a backing track, and play on top of that with all the effects that you want.
Wow. Where do people go for more information?
They can go to playjammy.com.
Playjammy.com.
Yeah.
Jammy with a Y.
Jammy with a Y, double M-Y.
Double M-Y. J-A-M-M-Y. I think you can see that. And go from there. Marco, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Jeffrey.
Rock out. That's awesome. Modular guitars, practice guitars. Being able to bring in the backing tracks, being able to have effects there.
Trigger MIDI.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, definitely. Check out everything now. 2019. We're in the Loud area, so we got a lot more videos to go. So check it out over at Geekazine.com, youtube.com/Geekazine. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys rock out and geek out. I got to play Gary Kasparov, and I got a chessboard too. Gonna talk about that more on Geekazine. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. It's getting really loud in here, and I didn't bring the right microphone, but it was last minute. I got into a chess game with Gary Kasparov, the folks at Twitter, and Avast, who I've talked about in the past. Just amazing time. He played 10 people at the same time, me being one of them. One person didn't show up, so they said, hey, can you put down the camera and play? And I said, hey, yeah, why not? So that's what I did. An amazing time. I was the first one out, because I was trying to be defensive, I was trying to think too much, and that's what got me. So here it is, here's what happened.
And welcome to Gary Kasparov's chess exhibition match. I'm with Avast Software, and Gary is our security ambassador here at South by Southwest. We had an amazing talk this morning about artificial intelligence and his experience playing IBM Deep Blue. And now before he heads out, he's showing off his skills against these 9 players. So thanks for watching and enjoy the show.
Here we go. You ready? Good luck. Do you think I need luck? I don't know. He just knows what to do next. He just knows every opener, right? Gary was at South by Southwest with Avast Software to remind us that although computers are smart, they can fall apart easily.
People keep buying devices, so they are attracted by washing machines, coffee machines that can talk to you, not recognizing that one bad apple will make the whole fall apart. So the security of your smart home. So if you have one device, then there's easy entry for potential predators. And it's sitting there in these jungles, waiting just to grab
If you think about it, Gary playing chess with 10 people is just like 10 IoT devices inside your home, with Gary as the hacker, playing the game until he can find a way to win almost every time. For me, he only took 10 moves to win.
And then this guy, 4th place. Good job. Good job.
So I want to congratulate you for playing
last place.
Yeah. The plate.
That's great.
Content out here. Ask Gary. intimidated. He said, "Yes, I am," by the sun, but he put on a cap. So he had his win. We had a great time with him, right, Jeff?
Absolutely, absolutely. I had a great time with Jordan. So we might do a couple more videos for South by Southwest here.
Until next time.
Awesome. You guys geek out, and we'll see. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment over on YouTube, and until next time, geek out like I'm doing right now. Go play some chess.
Here we go, we're at the Keyboard Pro 4 booth, and I'm sitting down to this drum set right here. And it is a drum set, but it's also a electric piano and synth, and we're going to talk about that next on Geekazine NAMM 2019. So check this out. So this isn't your standard drum set, but we have a bass drum down here, we have a snare, and we have these wild bop pads. We got the laptop that's controlling it, and of course the mallet station. The mallet station is just a MIDI keyboard, which has to plug into a computer, so you'll have to use something like Ableton Live or something like that to do that. And you plug in the headphones. Over here we have the Mimic Pro, powered by Slate, and it's a Pearl device right here. So I'm gonna put it in. You can do drum set. Or we can do the mallets. And of course, together, we can do this. So you get the idea. This is the mallet station. This is about $999, and of course you got the bop pads. All the prices down here, and then of course you hook it up to a computer. It's a pretty cool thing. It's perfect for theater setup. If you're doing something for a Broadway show or anything like that, it keeps the footprint low. Or you can be a solo musician, solo drummer, musician, and go from there. So that's what's happening. We got more over at NAMM 2019. Got a lot of great stuff here in the drum area over at the Pro booth. Check everything out over here. Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. We're here at NAB 2019. We're here at the KiloView booth, and we've got some NDI controllers right here we're going to take a look at next on Geekazine. So you want to get into NDI with whatever streaming you're doing here. We've got a couple of great boxes that have some great prices to them to get you in here, especially this one. This is a pretty low price. It's from a company called KiloView, and these are demo models. They don't have their regular models out, but they are out for order now. And they use the NDI HX protocol. This one right here, simple box. You can see some SDI in and out. There's also, you've got USB right here. They also have an HDI version of this, $350. $350. And of course, it's wired, it's not wireless. So you would put this into your workflow, 2 or 3 boxes. You have like 2 or 3 cameras on there using the NDI protocol, pretty cool. If you need a wireless solution, this is like a wireless camera pack right here. This is called the 4G LTE wireless for HDMI, and of course they also have an SDI version as well. We've got HDMI here. You can power it through here. Or this is also battery powered, my understanding. USB here, if you do need to put it on Ethernet, you just basically do a USB to Ethernet jack and then go from there. So we got 3 SDI cards on the side so you can do the recording. And a nice little sturdy box that, like I said, just attaches right on the camera, so you could do some travel NDI and go from there. This is going to be $650 on there, but if you're doing a lot of in-studio stuff, this box right here would be a really great thing to have, and it's pretty lightweight, so great for the travel. I would use this a lot for when I have to hook up a computer screen to do talking head plus a PowerPoint presentation type thing. The company is called KiloView, so you can check that all out. Of course, Geekazine.com, NAB 2019. We got a lot more great action coming your way, so stick around. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification for the next video. Until next time, Jeffrey Powers here. You guys geek out and take care. Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. We got Dane here. We're at the Kingston booth, NAB 2019. We're going to talk about the new memory, NVMe memory, and of course all the SSD storage. We'll talk about that next on Geekazine. So Dane, kind of popular guy. You've done some films that some people know about, like, you know, if you're a big SpongeBob fan, you got something coming out. But of course, also what, Annabelle?
We did the recent Annabelle, but you've done 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. That was kind of the big one.
Okay.
Got an Oscar a few years ago for that one.
Do you have your Oscar here?
No. I'm right behind everybody else, unfortunately.
Okay,
I'm polishing the Oscar for other people.
Okay.
It's there.
But you got to touch it at least.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so now you're here at the Kingston booth talking about the new newer memory, the NVMe side of things, and of course how it's helped you workflow production. So tell us a little bit about what you got.
Well, really, it's just about production and post-production technology, and really the work that I've been trying to develop over the last 2 years in partnership with Kingston is to create a device, a storage system that can refine the 4K, 8K production workflow system that we use in motion picture and streaming and any of the studio-based projects for the most part, because we're working with lots of data, big data print. We want to be able to get that data as fast as possible to the laboratory and not sit there an extra hour or 2 hours after we had a 12 or 14-hour day to get there. So that's a really important part of the work, really, is just to get it done, but also encryption is a big deal. We have to control all that data. We have to make sure that no one else can see it. And so with traditional drives, we had an issue with encryption just not being fast enough, but interfacing it. But with NVMe and really the Kingston, both the consumer and the enterprise products, but really the enterprise products have that all built in.
Yeah.
So it makes my work much easier, much faster. We're looking at somewhere about a 12 to 15 hour savings per week on like a 4K Netflix or
you're not bringing
studio production.
1, 2, or U2 rack to things. You're just using a basic enclosure.
Yeah, we're using a basic enclosure. The one I currently use is made by Akidio OWC.
There we go.
And basically the NVMe is inside. You can kind of see it in its chassis. Here's the chassis right here. But really the best thing about NVMe and why it's so exciting is 2 things. One is it has the ability to read and write simultaneously, whereas like traditional SATA devices could not do that because they need to send the data one way or the other at a time. So that gives you, we call it IOPS. IO's huge, absolutely massive, rated in the millions. So that is a big factor, especially for checksumming and writing data to a given drive. So that's the kind of first benefit. The second benefit is we now can take that as the chassis gets faster, as the connections get bigger as the technology in that field advances.
Yeah.
We now can use that same NVMe, which is definitely faster than anything that's out there right now, continuously over 2, 3, 5 years, hopefully. So that's a big deal for any kind of consumable storage device. I mean, most people, if you talk to them, hey, are you using a drive from 5 years ago? A few people might say, yeah, I keep a few in my bag. It's my spare drive. But professionals, even semi-professionals, would be like, no, absolutely not. Like
I'm constantly upgrading my drives because newer, faster, better is
absolutely
always helps in situations like this where you're on the road. You don't have your full production rig there, but you gotta get the video out. You gotta get your work done. So
the important thing is that it's a PCIe connection, and that is basically the main connection for your computer. It's the fastest, it's the lowest latency, it's the best, fattest connection that we can get. And then you just bridge it out from there based off of what your needs are. I mean, if you're a YouTuber, you have to have something like really portable, or if you need to have in production with like a gang of 8 of them or 12 of them because you need to carry around, 64 terabytes or 48 terabytes worth of data. So I think it's a great tool, but also it helps everybody get through the production. It saves them time, which means more time for clients, more time for life, more time to do the things, your passions.
Absolutely. And tell us what you guys have for this year.
So we're coming out with one of our new data center drives. Is the DC1000M. So this is a 4-channel PCIe drive, NVMe U.2 form factor. So this is capable of about 3 gigabytes per second read and write. It's used in the data center. You can see it's a 2.5-inch form factor U.2. Used in the data center from if you've got like servers, like 2U servers with 24 bays across, they're serviceable from there.
Okay.
We're at NAB, so we're using them actually to use on set and as transports to go to post.
Okay, perfect. They're not out yet, correct?
This is not out.
Okay, when do they come out?
I think we're looking at June, July.
And is that the only product you're showing off at NAB?
Well, we also have the DC500. So the DC500 R and M. So that's R is our read-centric drive. M is the mixed-use drive.
Okay.
The DC500 is a SATA drive, and it's out now. They're available. We're shipping. We've been sampling them for months, data centers, and they're going gangbusters now. We're getting to the point where there's really going to be probably going to be a price parity between SATA and NVMe. SATA is still going to. We expect SATA to keep selling quite well in the meantime, but in the next year and a half, once NVMe and SATA come to parity price-wise, we can expect all the data centers and end users at the desktop level, small business, when you go to make that purchase decision on your next machine, rather than going, oh, well, NVMe is 50% or 100% more expensive than SATA, once they become the same price, there's going to be a lot more motivation to spend the same amount of money to get 5 to 6 times the performance for the same flash, right?
Okay. Interesting drives.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. And what are you working on now?
Can't talk about what I'm working on right now, but currently we're just facilitating other productions.
Okay.
Apple, Warner Brothers, Sony. Those are kind of the main studios I'm working with right now to kind of facilitate that.
You can do my biopic. How's that?
Oh, done.
Awesome.
Done. Here, we'll start right now.
Wants to see my biopic. They do. They really do. I've grown up from a child.
I could see it. You haven't changed. You just have a goatee now, right?
No, I had the goatee when I was a child. I came out. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Well, you'll learn about it in the biopic. So
cool.
All right. Well,
thank you so much.
Where do people go for more information on you?
You can go to Cintegral.tech. That's CINTEGRAL.tech.
Okay.
And you can kind of see some of the exciting stuff done and some of the projects we've used at NVMe and VR 360. A little bit of everything on there.
Okay, and then of course Kingston.com.
Kingston Technology, couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely, Kingston Technology.
They're the anchor in this whole thing.
Absolutely.
So,
Well,
that's great.
Dane, thank you very much
so
for
much.
taking some time. Jeffrey Powers with Geekazine. We got a lot more NAB video coming your way. So go ahead on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, bell notification. So, because we all love bell notifications, they just go ding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Angels get their wings, things like that. So it's a lot of fun. So check it all out, Geekazine.com. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, you guys. Geek out. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine, and we're here with Kolsko at MIK 2019. It looks like we got some food here, so that's pretty cool. John, was it John?
Yeah, my name is
John. Come on closer a little bit.
Okay.
All right, tell us a little bit about what you got.
We would like to introduce cooking foil, which is a combination of traditional Korean paper and charcoal pans.
Oh wow!
One of the benefits of traditional Korean paper is it has antimicrobial properties and breathability.
Breathability, okay.
One of its other properties is it absorbs odors.
Okay.
The white side is the traditional Korean hanji.
Okay.
The other side is the charcoal pan.
Okay. So you could put this into a pan. You can put this onto a charcoal bin. Is that how that works?
Yeah, we only use the pan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because we see a frying pan here and some bacon.
Yeah.
So you put the bacon on here, and it's supposed to keep the odor low. Okay.
그래서 얘가 기름 흡수율이 굉장히 좋아요.
Has really good oil absorption.
Oh, okay.
그래서 우리가
in Korea when they eat pork belly, there's a lot of grease.
Lots of grease, yeah.
This helps absorb the grease and the odor.
Okay.
So it reduces the amount of smoke and smell in the house by 50%.
Okay, so if I put a burger on here, burgers usually stink up the place. Put the burgers on here, that'll soak it in, and I won't have. Will I have the smoke? I'll have the smoke and the smell that comes in there. Okay. Okay. Nice. So
have you used the air fryer? Air fryer.
We have an air fryer at home.
have
Yes.
an air fryer.
Yes.
에어 프라이의 문제점이 뭔가 좀 한번 물어봐 주세요.
So what is the biggest problem with air fryers?
Grease all over the place.
기름 청소가 쉽냐고 물어보세요. 기름 청소.
Is it easy to clean up the grease afterwards?
This one is it's better, but yeah, there are. I'm concerned there are spots in the air fryer that I'm not getting, and there's grease buildup happening. Yes.
This is fish, and you put it in the air fryer.
Okay.
But because he placed this cooking foil at the bottom, it absorbed all the grease that he didn't need to clean up afterwards.
Oh, nice. So
the chicken has more grease.
Yeah, the chicken has a lot more grease, and so you put that on underneath, and look at that right there. It was hard to see, but it shows that the air fryer doesn't have that grease buildup, the drip pan that you end up having.
좀 더해져요.
So the charcoal scent kind of flavors the food as well.
Oh, give it like you just grilled it on charcoal.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is instant fish and microwavable fish.
Okay.
Now they're placing this product underneath it.
Okay.
Before they export it because it prevents it from getting stale or getting smelled. And they export to America, Canada, Taiwan, and Australia.
So when I go to the grocer, I get the meat, and then they have like a little, I don't know, it's like a diaper type thing underneath. So this would replace that thing with the charcoal, and then you could just put it right in the microwave or whatnot and cook it right there, and it would go from frozen or cold to hot without issue.
네, 기다리고 이렇게 먹게 되는 거예요. 생거를.
So using this product, it doesn't have to be pre-cooked. So you can put in raw ingredients and it'll cook it in the microwave.
Okay.
이거.
So you can do it on the stove. You can do it in the microwave. I'm assuming you can also do it in the oven. Air fryer. Can you do it on a grill?
다만 except는 fire는 안 돼요. 직접 조인 때문에.
The only exception, you can use it in a variety of places, but the only exception is you can't use it over direct flame.
Okay. So no grill.
This is marinated short rib. And, one of the problems when you cook short rib at home is the marinade burns.
Okay.
And it's carcinogen on the meat. But when you use this product, it
soaks
that
that up.
as much.
It soaks it up. What about vegetables?
Yeah, vegetable. I don't know vegetable. I
you haven't tried it with vegetables. There's some we can try it with. Vegetables. Okay. Slow cooker. Does that work with the slow cooker?
Yeah, slow.
Okay. Another one. There we go.
요거는 이제 닭가슴살인데.
Okay. Well, we get the idea here. So let's talk price. First of all, let's talk about
what your plans are for the next year. Where do you want to go with this? Are you out to market or?
I want to. Currently, they're used to export fish. They place it at the bottom when they export it. Now they would like to export the product itself to the States.
Okay. So you use this on a commercial level to make sure that the food is fresh, and now you want to sell it to consumers. Okay, perfect. That's a great plan. It looks like you have different versions from the circular one to. It looks like you have one for pan, square.
Square, round, and roll.
Oh, a little roll, like a plastic wrap or something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Same material.
Okay. What are the prices?
Price is now is 여기 백화점에서
This is sold in department stores for around $7,107.
So about $7.
요건 6,000원이고요. 스몰이고 20. 하이 25,000원.
Okay. That's the cooking foil right there. Let's open it up really quick. Just show it right there. So you get it in a foil like you would wax paper or aluminum foil or something like that, and then just put it in the bottom of the pan and it soaks up the grease. All right. And this is in. Are you selling it in Korea right now or?
Selling now.
Okay.
It's a department store.
Okay.
They're currently selling this at 신세계 department store at the duty free.
Okay.
그리고 행복한 백화점에서 판매해요. 행복한 백화점.
They also are currently selling it in another department store called 행복한 department store.
Okay.
And they've exported to New York once.
Okay. So it is in the States just a little bit, but you want to go globally with it, and I think it's a great product. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Take care. There you go. It's called. What's it called? It's called.
수퉁문 한지.
수퉁문 한지. There you go.
Hanji with charcoal.
Hanji with charcoal, and of course, I'm assuming when you go to the United States, it'll have a more U.S. name to it. So, okay, perfect. Now, there you go. Check it out when it comes to the States. Charcoal pads for the bottom of your frying pan or something like that to reduce the smoke, reduce the smell, and reduce the oil usage. So you just cook these. Is it one-time use?
Yeah, one time.
One-time use, and then throw it away, and then you have cleaner pans go from there. So thank you very much, John, for that. MIK 2019 got a lot more coming, so geek out over at Geekazine. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, and we are here at the Made in Korea booth. Aving.net has put together this awesome spot for companies in South Korea. I don't know if it's North Korea and South Korea, but definitely South Korea companies to show off their wares at CES 2019. And as they're trying to break into markets and stuff like that. We've got 8 companies that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the first 4 companies as a walkthrough, and then of course we'll go through the next 4 companies in the second video. So let's get started. We're going to start with this one right here. It's PIMS, and basically this is a company that is working with patents, and the idea is simple. They are talking with companies like, let's say I have a patent for, I don't know, this lanyard right here. And there's somebody in South Korea that has a patent for this lanyard, similar patents. The idea is it's a negotiator that will talk between me and that person in Korea to see, so if I want to enter into that market, I can do so legally and without stepping on any toes. Because we all want to make money in the end. We all want our intellectual properties to be well known wherever we go. So what this does is they negotiate with these clients, so they have a working relationship, especially when you're talking languages. I mean, I know a little bit of Korean, but I would not want to hold I cannot hold a good conversation with anybody in Korea except to say, 감사합니다. That's pretty much it for me, but you get the idea. So this company is working right now. They just started up. So they're working in South Korea. There's a lot of talk, of course, with working with North Korea, because there's probably a lot of patents in North Korea that we don't know about just yet. And then if that trade market opens up, we'll be able to find out some cool innovations over there. And then we would talk to these people to see how our patents would work with their patents, especially if you improve an item that you know came from another country. You add
you add a pin to the lanyard, for example, then you can add to the patent and go from there. So that is IP and PIMS. Next up, we have Shangde Technology. This is about blockchain. This is actually about working with companies to create with real estate transactions, allow you to work in other countries, to work with people that want to look for properties you might have in other countries, and allow them to work back and forth and go from there. It, of course, goes through blockchain. So when you're talking about Korean won versus US dollars, then you don't have those translation issues right there. It's an IoT application which includes GIS. And you have to forgive me because my blockchain knowledge is down to here. I'm working on that right now. So it's a business-to-business supply chain management type situation, and that is Shangde Technology. Next up is we have Big Pictures. This is a training simulator for big industrial equipment. Now they have forklifts, and they have bigger type industrial equipment. And the idea is that you would train on this type of simulator. Now, what the cool thing about this is, and I was talking to him about it, this is something that you could actually put into your home. I mean, granted, this system is something that they lease out, and would take it would cost you about $15,000 to rent out. But imagine having a simulator at home just for fun, or a gaming system. I mean, this would be a perfect gaming rig for some people. They built all the hardware, and they have the hardware. They can sell the hardware modular from what I saw on the catalog. And you basically, if you're looking to get into doing some industrial as your job, getting the training, this might be what you're using for your training in the future. And their plan is they're working in South Korea, and their plan is to grow into other markets internationally. Finally, we have Protostar right here, and this is a share space. So when I was in South Korea last month, I was in an area where they had a lot of malls, but a lot of those malls had a lot of empty office space, business space. What this company is doing is they're building an application so you can do like an Airbnb type of situation where you can rent out that space for a short-term time. So these real estate companies have tenants when they don't have anybody on a long-term basis. Their plan is to go, once they get the international translators going in the app, to actually go into international businesses. And of course, work in the United States, work in Europe, work in Russia, work in wherever their app can be found on networks. So this is Protostar, and a brand new company from South Korea. And of course, that's the first 4 in this 8-company look into made in Korea. My friends over at aving.net, thank you for inviting me to come and talk with these companies. Of course, it was very easy while we were at CES 2019. A lot of companies like this come overseas to show what they're doing and see, kind of test what it would work in the US market. So we got another video just like this. We got 4 more companies, so check that out. We'll have the link in the show notes. Go over to Geekazine.com. Go over to youtube.com/Geekazine, and go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, click that bell for notification on the next one. And until then, you guys geek out and take care. We're at the aving.net booth, CES 2019. I'm photobombing my friend Joseph, who is doing an interview right now for MIK Invitational Hotspot, excuse me. So CES 2019, we've got some companies that we're gonna look at here. This is in 2 videos, so you probably saw the first video with the cool innovations here. We're gonna continue this on, so let's get started with these companies. We're gonna start with this. This is AB Ross, and Guava is the name of, it's a POS system, and AB stands for Awesome Brothers, I think it was. So anyway, the idea is simple. It's a POS system for companies that help with many different ways to get your product sold. So for instance, you could come into the shop and you could order an item, whether it be a store or a restaurant or whatnot. You can order an item, and of course do it the regular way. Or you can pull up an app. And with this app, it will help you choose the stuff that you want. And when it's time to check out, you pay for it on the app. And then of course, a receipt will go over at the store. They will then give you your items and you can be on your way. Now, what's really cool is this app also translates into different languages. Like for instance, I was in South Korea last month. Instead of having the translation issues, I could actually order it on the app and then go pick it up. I have an English version of it. They have a Korean version of it, and I got my products, they got their money, everybody's happy. So this is a POS system that stretches way past the fact of doing some in-store ordering or anything like that. Because you could actually be at your house, they say, I want to get some milk, I want to get some eggs, and I want to get some bread, and I need to get it fast. You can do that, you can order it, you can be in and out, and you don't need to go through the checkout lines. So that's pretty cool. It's the Guava POS system. Next up, we got Good Tech Incorporated. It's all about these plugs. Now check this out. Now these are smart plugs, but the difference between these smart plugs is the fact that they are Bluetooth enabled more than Wi-Fi enabled. So you don't hook it up to your Alexa, you don't hook it up to your Google or anything like that. This runs on Bluetooth location. So you pair this up with your device, and when you are home right now within a 10-meter range, your lights can turn on, your TV can turn on, your excuse me, your anything can turn on, and you don't have to. And when you walk away from it, it actually turns off. Now, this was inspired by the fact that they have a lot of home fires and residential fires because they have things like heaters plugged in, and then people walk away, and then of course that starts a fire. With this, when they walk away, that gets turned off. Now, the one thing I asked them is there a pin system that they're planning to put into this so they can, so the neighbors don't come in and try to pair their devices to the Bluetooth so your lights don't turn on when you don't want them to. And that's something that he's working on. They also have plans for a Wi-Fi/Bluetooth model, so you can look on an app in the future to see if the lights are on while you're away. Because you can give this app and this PIN number to friends and family, so when they come over to your place, the lights will turn on from the whatever they need to use they'll be able to use, and when they're not at home, it'll just be off. So that's pretty cool. This is Good Tech Incorporated. Next we have Bugbox. This is an app and a donation system. So they have one game right now, and the idea is you play the game to a certain amount of points, and if you reach that goal, you can donate money to a charity of your choice. Now, they're just in production on the one app, but the idea is they want to take this system and actually distribute it to other games, to other companies. So you could be playing a game on your console system, and you could say, okay, if I get to 1 million points, I'll donate $100 to this charity. And you can also, another thing that they're planning on is working, so you could do a group effort to get, let's say by the end of this year, if we get to 1 million points on this game, we're gonna donate this much money to our favorite charity. So you get the idea. It's all about charitable, or being a charitable person, and doing the one thing you love, and that's gaming on whatever platform it is. And that is Bugsbox. This is going to be a busy booth because they've got a very interesting product called Deep Scent. Now what this is, and I'm going to show you this in a second, it is a box. And within the box you have these little cups, kind of like your coffee cups. And you put them into the box, you can put up to 4 in, and you can change the smell. They can have different scents in different capsules in each of these units. And then you go into your app and you say, I want a little bit more lavender into the scent. It'll change to give you lavender in the scent. I want a little bit more strawberry. I want a little bit more whatnot. These are all natural flavors. These are basically dehydrated scents, and then of course once they go in the activator, that heats them up, and then you have aroma filling the house with natural scents, which is really cool. Let's take a look at this box. So this is the box right here. Now they're starting a Kickstarter this week, and it's going to run till February. And these are the little pods that I was talking about, and you can go in there and you can mix and match. And with the app, you can say, okay, at 6 o'clock, I want more strawberry flavor. I want more lavender flavor. I want more sandalwood or whatever. And it will allow you to, or it'll do it automatically on a daily basis, whatever you have for your schedule. So pretty cool stuff there. Like I said, they're starting the Kickstarter. They're going to stay in Korea for this year, but they're planning to find a distributor for US rollout within the upcoming years. And that is made in Korea. There's a lot more companies here, but these are the 8 that I was asked to talk about. And of course, you can check that all out. We had a lot of fun at CES 2018. Of course, I had a lot of fun going to South Korea last month and doing some judging for competitions for that there. And I want to thank that guy right there for helping me come to South Korea. We'll be doing a lot more work with aving.net and getting more cool products, find out what's coming from South Korea and coming to the United States. So you can check out Geekazine, stay on Geekazine, youtube.com/Geekazine. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification for the next video. And until next time, you guys, geek out.
From here, so
Okay.
like we are making bioproducts that incorporate cutting-edge stem cell science from stem cell science.
Oh, okay.
From
It's right
stem
there.
cell
It's
science.
written right here. Stem
Yeah.
cell science. Yes.
From smart farm materials to address a very variety of skin disease caused by accumulation of harmful substances in cosmetics.
Okay. They got a little QR code here, so show that QR code if you want to try and scan it on video. All right. So, did you bring any products with you? Or?
혹시 제품을 가져오신 거는 보여주실 수 있는 제품은 혹시 안 가져오셨나요?
저희가 아직 제품 출시 전이어가지고 샘플만 있거든요.
샘플도 괜찮을 것 같아요. So at this moment, they've only got some samples. That's because they haven't released any of their production yet.
Okay.
So not in the market yet.
Okay.
So yeah, they will bring some samples.
How long has the company been around?
이 회사는 지금 몇 년 정도 됐나요? 1년. Just around a year.
A year? Okay. What? How did you decide you wanted to be in the beauty market?
근데 왜 이 뷰티 마켓 쪽을 시작하게 되셨는지 딱히 회사에서 이유가 있으실까요?
저희 그 슬로건 보시면은 이제
She introduced her company as well. Like she said about a lot of skin disease caused by the accumulation of harmful substances in cosmetics. The CEO of this company, she already kind of recognized about this kind of problem in cosmetics. You know, you are using cosmetics to kind of enhance your skin condition much better, but actually it sometimes harm to your skin.
Harmful,
so
yeah.
she wanted to kind of develop a new type of cosmetic, which is kind of using just natural materials, not chemical.
Okay.
So that was the idea how they started their company first. Wow, that's a mask. LED mask인가요?
LED
So that's a LED mask, which is quite trendy nowadays.
Yeah, I know.
in Korea.
I tried one.
Oh, it looks like an Iron Man.
Iron
Like Iron Man, yeah.
Iron Man.
여기 2초 이상 누르면
어디를요? 여기를. So you press the button here, like more than 2 seconds. 여기인가요? 어디에? 눌러주세요.
So sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, she's nervous because you're too handsome.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. So you just saw the blinks of the light. So that's a touchpad.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, it's working
There's
now.
like a LED light going
Yeah.
on in here.
So
And then,
레드 파장.
so that's the red light.
이거는 콜라겐 생성이랑 근적에서 그러니까 파장이 같이 나오는 파장이에요.
어떤 게 레드가요?
now there's a blue light.
So this is different blue light and it depends on the color light.
Okay.
So it has a different functions. So the first one, the red one, is kind of help your skin to generate more collagen. Blue is good for sanitize your skin. So like let's say for example like pimples, if you have some kind of inflammation disease in your skin cells, then that will be helpful.
Okay.
And three step.
And third one, because they've got 3 steps,
핑크 라이트.
and that's pink light, and then yeah, she touched it twice.
That's okay. 코로 넘어갔어요.
Ah, okay, yeah. 네. 그럼 모두가 몇 개?
It's doing a mood lighting.
Ah,
Okay,
yeah, there's
yeah.
4 steps you can use.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the third one.
그래서 핑크 파장 같은 경우는 레드 파장이랑 블루 파장이 합쳐진 파장이라고 생각하시면 돼요.
So this pink waves light
Okay.
is a combination of the first and second one, like
Okay.
red and blue.
Okay.
So you can have both benefit by using this one.
Okay.
입술 누르면 자동적으로.
So if you just press the 2 seconds is to the touchpad, then yeah,
Okay.
you can turn off as well.
It gets when you breathe in there, it gets a little bit humid in there, which I'm assuming is helping with the.
이렇게 쓰고 있으면요 안에가 좀 이렇게 습기가 차는 느낌이 드는데 그거는 이제 숨 쉬고 말하고 그래서 그런 걸까요? 아니면 이게 원래 그렇게? Well, yeah, that's because we kept talking inside while you're wearing it, and it was too tight when you wear it.
You want me to put it back on? Okay.
I am
I need that.
American.
Is there a strap that comes up like that?
이 스트랩이 혹시 뭐 이게 나오는 거예요 여기? 이 위에는 이거는 뭐예요?
There should be, because it pulls.
아 이게 이렇게 흘러내리는데 혹시 이걸로만 고정을 하는 건가요? Because that's the only
Yeah.
way you can kind of make the
Yeah,
stable.
but if there was a strap on top,
아.
it would hold this right here. and it
여기에
would-
스트랩이 있으면 더 좋을 것 같아. 이게 무거워서 좀 이렇게 떨어지니까. Yeah, that would consider to put more strap in.
Oh, yeah, turn it on.
She's gonna turn it on again. And once again.
This is what it looks like inside. I can't see that, so I didn't notice that. So let's do that. Hopefully, they're LEDs, but you're seeing this a little bit more because this isn't focusing in right. So see, there we go. So as you can see, there's the LEDs right there. But that's a pretty intense view right there. Look at that.
이게 눌리는
Button.
느낌 좀 덜하지 않을까? 아마 코가 더
Sure,
높아서 그 좀 느낄까요? And also they've got some products for
Okay.
hair
We got some
loose.
product too. I need some product.
Another
to
product
fit.
for the
Oh, we
hair
got-
loose.
For the what?
Hair loss.
Hair loss. I don't have no hair loss.
I know, but your product it is.
What's got hair loss?
No offense.
Now go.
Let's spray it like that.
It's an interesting smell. Do I rub it on or?
이거 혹시 뭐 문질러야 되나요? 아니면 그냥 뿌리기만 하나요?
No, go ahead.
No, you don't need to rub. It's
Oh.
just a spray.
그냥 풀어주는.
그거 and also this one is aroma stick.
Is that a needle?
Because the hair loose, if you have a lot of heat inside of your body, that's sometimes stimulate to your hair to grow out.
Okay.
So by
If I wake up with a full head of hair,
you can find her.
just put it on the back.
Yeah. Like rub right there around your neck.
Okay. So that will.
Help the body heat goes through to your head.
Oh, because of this, where the stem cell is, right? Oh, okay. So they are altering my stem cell.
So last year, the main agenda for them to research was the hair loss.
Okay.
And then this year they are just focusing on new kind of material using the smartphone. They said from the smartphone.
Okay. I guess I'm asking. What I'm really asking is, how safe is this? It's
그러면
pretty
이게
safe, right?
거죠. So for the stem cell that you're using, it's already got the certificate from the international. So it's like a load to use for the cosmetic by the
Okay.
global standards.
Okay.
They already got some data by doing the experiment period, and also they've got patents for their products as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
if anyone wants some more information,
So if you guys want any more information, then we got the link down there, koreabiolab.co.kr. What's your plan for this next year? When are you going to release the products?
그러면 언제 they're aiming for next January in next year they will release their perfume line.
Okay.
And then through March to July next year they will release all their products in market, like from the mask pack and also the hair loose products.
All right, we're here with LA Meditech. Jeffrey Powers with Geekazine at MIK 2019. Your name? Sungjae.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn about a device that's going to help draw blood without a needle, correct? All right, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, this is a Handray Pro. Yeah, we call it Handray Pro. This is a laser lancing device.
Okay.
We make a blood sample without needle.
Okay.
Yeah. If you use our device, you can reduce some pain when you make a blood sample with a needle.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can say.
So this is basically drawing your blood, or
capillary blood.
taking your
finger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's pricking your finger. Okay.
Yeah. So our device has several benefits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Less pain than needle lancet.
How so?
Yeah. Shut the laser on your finger and then make a little hole on your finger.
Smaller hole. Okay.
And then make getting the blood sample from the hole.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't use needle. So after using the laser. So
laser needle.
Yeah, laser needle. Yeah.
It is Star Trek.
So if you use a laser, you don't worry about second infection. Yeah.
Don't worry about what?
Second infection.
Oh, staph infection.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one of our advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. They are using this laser.
Okay.
To regeneration to the skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still have to do the finger, or can you do other places?
Maybe. We usually recommend the fingertip is the best place to get a blood sample. But in case of baby, we recommend here.
On the foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the foot
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay. All right, on the foot, and then there's laser sounds. That's weird. So, all right. So, what type of price points are we talking with? Is this a home unit or?
We have two models.
Okay.
Yeah. This is for large hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. This model.
For home?
For home and small clinic. Both of them.
And for what?
Small clinic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Large hospital.
Larger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is some difference. Yeah. The using time is one charge 300 times, one charge 200 times.
So you can do 200 on one charge.
Yeah.
You can do 300 on one charge. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. What are the price points on these?
We got an FDA. Last year.
Okay.
For this model.
Okay.
But we don't have not yet.
You need an FDA on that. Okay, but you got the FDA on this one. Okay, perfect.
So in Korean market, we sell this model at 400,000 won.
So $400.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So
if you buy this model, this product, you can use more than 20,000 times. So if you use at home, you can use forever. Consumable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are little plastic tabs of some sort? Okay.
This is, we call it the single-use tab.
Okay.
You need to put in the single-use device here.
Okay.
Because
So that is technically the
Yeah,
needle.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, so this tab has two functions to protecting the optical lens.
Okay.
Yeah, from the blood stain, some smoke. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and then the other one is to prevent second infection. Yeah.
So this thing will contact the skin.
Yeah.
The laser will come through. Will any blood get on this?
Yeah.
Okay. So this
Not
would
get
be
on this.
thrown into a
Not get
biohazard.
on this. Yeah.
Okay.
Just protecting the optical lens and then not to contact device to the skin.
But that would possibly be thrown into
Yeah.
a biohazard then of some sort. Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. And that's $400. Okay. Is it out now?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. What's your plan for the next year? What are you guys gonna do?
We're gonna find a good distributor in the U.S. market.
Okay.
Yeah, we already.
You're based in Korea right now, right? And you want to get to the U.S. market in the next year. Okay. That's understandable.
Yeah. So we're gonna join some exhibition in U.S.
Okay.
regarding the diabetes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, it's LA Meditech, and this is called the Handy Ray Pro, correct?
Yeah, Handy Ray Pro and Handy Ray.
Okay, Handy Ray. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. So lots of cool stuff here at MIK 2019. We got a lot more, so check it out and geek out. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. We're at the Lenovo booth. Just had a nice lunch. We're going to learn about the Lenovo products, including the accessories, the computers, and of course the smart products, which we're going to talk about next. So we'll start here. This is the Lenovo Smart Clock right here. Of course, something for your bedside. It's got a MediaTek 8167S processor at 1.5 gigahertz. It runs Google Assistant and is about 4 inches, IPS resolution of 480 by 800. It is touch compatible and is 2.4 and 5G wireless. On the back it is USB charge options, so you can plug in your phone and keep this at your bedpost. Next to it is the Lenovo Smart Display. It's what they announced last year, and it's a little bit bigger screen, and of course speakers. So, and of course, also can be on your bedside, or it can be on your desk at work, or anything like that. We'll start with a bevy full of accessories here, including the USB-C powered hub, which has one HDMI 2.0, one VGA port, a single 4K 60 Hertz display, USB-C powered base pass-through, and RJ45 gigabit Ethernet. It's going to be available in March. Next up, we have the Yoga Mouse Laser Presenter. So it can be a mouse and it can be a laser presenter. So this thing will twist like that to shift between mouse and presentation mode. So there's presentation mode, it's nice and flat, and mouse mode, we bring a nice little angle so you can move it around a little bit. Integrated class 1 laser pointer, on the fly DPI adjustments, 1600 DPI at the most, and that's a nice 5mm size, and integrated rechargeable battery lasting up to 2 months. It's going to be available in June of 2009. Next up is we have the Lenovo 700 Ultra Portable Bluetooth speaker. It's 11 nanometers thin, which is pretty sweet. Bluetooth 5.0 with NFC connection, up to 2 devices simultaneous. Fast charges in 2 hours, lasts for 8 hours. Easy and quick access to touch controls, IPX2 splash resistant, and compatible with Siri and Google Assistant. This is going to be available in March of 2019. Finally, we have the Lenovo VoiceOver IP360 camera speaker, 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, 4 display modes, or you can turn the camera completely off. You don't need to put anything on top of it. This is where the camera seems to be located here. 360 sound capture with a 6.7-inch radius range, 360 speaker at 6.7 inches, and supports Skype, Amazon Chime, Cisco Jabber, Cisco WebEx, Google Hangout, and QQ. I'm guessing if you also plug it into the computer for another program, you'll be able to use the audio for that. And it's going to be available in April of 2019. This is the Lenovo Legion Y540 15-inch Intel Core processor. It's got a display of 144 hertz, 15.6-inch, 1920 by 1080, 300 nits display with Dolby Vision HDR 60 hertz, 15.6-inch FHD at 1920 by 1080. Of course, it's running Windows 10 Home or Pro. It's your choice. It's got up to 32 gigabytes of DDR